stay there.
You play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets,
Jets. There he is. The accordion player is back. What is happening, everybody? This is GreenBean, and welcome to the Thursday thick of it, where it's pretty thick. We have lots of reasons to feel lots of things, and we're going to get into it all tonight. I am in a fantastic mood because this is the first time the Thursday thick of it is in my brand new self-built studio that I think I'm calling the green room. It's just kind of happening. The green room, probably because it's a room and it's green, but that's what I'm going with for now. Before we get too thick, let's bring in the thickest of all, our co-host, Mr. Frankie from Flatbush. Let's say hello to him. What's up, Frankie?
Welcome to Trade Request Thursday, everybody. It's that time of the week when we get to request a trade. So if you're in the chat and you would like to be traded to a different chat room, please, please let us know. We'll take a look at what we can get for you. Maybe we can pick up a 5th-round pick. Maybe we can pick up pepperoni pizza for you. We want everybody to be happy. We don't want anybody upset with their usage. How many comments you get on the screen, like Boy Green, our friend here.
There he is.
We want to keep everybody happy, so let us know if you would like to be traded in the chat.
Right. We have numerous chats that are calling now, interested in receiving your services. So we'll get into that. Frankie, I'm in a good mood, man. We have a fantastic guest, a guy I've met a few times, but I don't expect him to remember. And we'll get into some of that stuff way back from the 90s, man. So this is super, super cool. Let's not wait any longer. Let's just go ahead and bring him on. You guys know him. You guys love him. And I could not be more excited to have him on. Let's say hello to our very own Fireman Ed. What's going on, Ed? How you doing?
How are you guys?
How are you?
I'm excited.
Yeah, so am I, man. And thanks again for coming on. Of course, we appreciate it. And we're going to get into some stuff, man. I know you like to get fired up. I've been watching you for a long time. I mean, back, like I said in the beginning there, way back in the 90s, man, maybe even the 80s. Do you remember when the Jets chant was like end zone to end zone?
Oh, yeah.
Remember that?
301 to 319. That was Donnie Schaefer in 319. Yeah. And Dom Valenza was in 301 before his wife decided to not let him go to the games anymore. Dom was from my neighborhood in Whitestone, so College Point. So.
Wow, it's amazing, man. Yeah, I remember being in the end zones before I got my season tickets. I would be up there, and the way I looked at it was the big guys with the whistles and horns. Like, that's the way it was, and we would kind of go back and forth. And I remember there was a time where you did the chant down there. Now, I was directly across from you. I was in 311, so I was 50-yard line upper level. I had like a direct line to your lower level seats in Giant Stadium. And one day, this is my memory, and maybe you can correct me. One day they just put you on the screen, and I don't know what happened, why, maybe a cameraman and it changed everything, man. Like for once, we seemed like it was like unified, and it was so much more potent. Do I have that memory correct? Did it just happen? What happened there?
Yeah, that was actually before I wore the fire helmet. I started doing the chant in '86. I wasn't even a fireman yet. I got on the New York City Fire Department in '87. And, I didn't wear the helmet till, man, it was the middle of '88, the season of '88 when I started. They put me on because my brother Frankie, what happened was I used to run up and down the aisle because they used to go back and forth in the end zone. So when we got there in '84, it was dead in the lower tier. And I was like, I can't take this because we were at Shea with the same seats. And, it was wild. Shea was nuts. And I was only 24, 23 years old. And I says to my brother, I says, listen, I'm just telling you, I ain't staying here. If this place don't get going, I can't do it. It's too dead. So, and I'm a few cocktails in and running up and down the aisle. And eventually I went on the railing to try to let the people see me. So when I went on a railing, if you remember the old Giant Stadium, you had quite a drop. All right. So anyway, I fell over the railing and wrapped my legs around the top railing. And I'm yelling to my brother, Frankie, Frankie, Frankie. He comes running down. He grabs me by the jersey. He goes, "Get up here." He goes, "Get on my shoulders." I went on his shoulders, and that's when it started.
Amazing.
They put us on the screen, and then it just slowly started taking off. Then Dom, like I said, stopped going. Then they used to just do it in 319. Donnie Schaefer. He was a cop in New York City. Great guy. Donnie's the best. And then we just started doing it, and then just slowly it took off. It took time. You know, we sucked. We were bad for many years. We only had
many years.
We only had a few playoff runs a few times, and not many home playoff games. I remember one with Kansas City, I think one with New England. That was it, man. We didn't really get any playoff games. We were always on the road.
Yeah.
So
now I'm getting a little bit of interference. Frankie, are you hearing that? It's like
it's a little choppy. A little staticky.
Yeah, Ed, maybe you have some loose wires or anything like that on your end. I'm not sure. I just want to make sure that I say it.
I don't plug my power.
Yeah.
Let me see. Is that better?
Okay. Yeah, it might be. It actually might be. So
plugging my iPad in.
Okay. Well, it's a funny thing, remembering back then. I was, like you said, you were 23, 24 in Shea. When I was going to the games, I was in my 20s, and I bought season tickets for, 7, 8 years off the same guy. We had 4 tickets. We sat with the same people and the whole thing. And I came down to you I don't expect you to remember, believe me, but I came down to you one time. I was a kid. I was probably 23 years old. And I was like all nervous to just kind of go down there, and I just want to meet that guy. I love it. I love the energy. I love the whole thing. And you were so cool, man. And you sat with us. Well, we stood, but you stood there with us maybe 15 minutes and talked Jets. It was awesome.
Yeah,
I thank you for that.
I've never been nasty to anyone, only if they deserve it.
Right.
You try to be good to everyone because it's an honor when people want to meet you. So I never take that for granted. I never have. I never will. I was raised the right way. And when someone wants to, take a picture with you or something, that's an honor. That's a true honor. And what I do is when I meet people, I make it personal. So I'll always ask you your name because that's where it starts. People ask you for a picture. You could just go take a picture. But why not say, "Hey, what's your name?" And it makes it personal, and you should be honored by that. And to this day, I always do it. Now, I got plenty of guys that don't like me. I always said this, and I'll say it till I die. If they knew me, they wouldn't think that way. But they look at me from afar because I got a little limelight, and you're gonna get judged when you have limelight. And that's okay because I do it. We all do it. It's just when somebody is public figure, you want to, say whether you love them or you don't like them or whatever, or maybe you're indifferent. You don't have any opinion of them, but you're out there. So you're open for thing. And that's all I say. If they knew me, they wouldn't talk like that. That's all I can say.
Yeah, well, and well said, man. And I found you to be incredibly gracious to just a young punk who walked down the to the lower level to chat with you, man. And and I feel the same way. I've gotten to meet some people who wanted to meet. I'm tickled by it. I'm just honored. Sincerely, it's it sounds corny maybe, but I feel honored to spend time and get to meet people and all that. And you did that for me, man. So I'm really appreciative. Now I want to ask you, like you just said, we've been bad for a long time, man. And that's just the truth of it. Yes, we've had our moments, right? Yeah. But I'm real curious to ask you, what was your favorite team? For me, what got me in was the Sack Exchange, the Ken O'Brien. It was really Richard Todd first, but the Ken O'Brien, Dan Marino show, Freeman McNeil, that was my team. But my favorite team was the Dennis Byrd era. That was my favorite team. The team I just loved that team. For you, what would you call your favorite team, or the one that you have the warmest association with, or whatever? Which one is it for you?
What made me a Jet fan was my brother Frankie, right? So he was my older brother. He was almost 7 years older. So he took me to my first Jet game in 1974. And when the first couple of years, it was, we weren't that good, but then we drafted all of our guys in 77. We had Bruce Harper, who I wear. Right. You had Plecko, you had the Lions. That crew there with Rich and Todd, I was actually at the championship game of Miami in 82 for that team. And that was my favorite run there. That run was what made me, plus, I was young. I was a maniac. So, in 82, I was 21 years old. So we were down with my boys down, and my mother and dad just bought a condo in Hallandale, Hollywood, Florida. And we happened to play the Dolphins in the championship game that year. And all me and my guys, we had no furniture in my mother's apartment because they just bought it. And I went down with 20 guys. We were in the condo sleeping on the floor. So that was, we were Gas Nose Gang of College Point, because I grew up in College Point, and that was the banner. Gas Nose Gang of College Point, Queens. And that was my run. I loved all that team with Joe Klecko and the sack exchange. And we had all the backs. We had Bruce Harper, we had Scott Durking, we had Kevin Long, Clark Gaines, Mickey Schuler.
Mickey Schuler, man. We don't talk about him enough. We don't talk about Mickey.
We had a lot. We had a nice run there. It was a great run. So
yeah. And look, it's like we get these stretches of pain. That's, and then we get some sugar. Hey, here's a lollipop. And then we go through another. But that's why I love Jets fans even more than I think other fan bases' camaraderie is. I think it's like we're forged, man. We're forged in fire. Like, look, we're one of, if not the most, intense, engaged fan bases. And we've gotten very, very little over the years, man. So that's what impresses me. And look, the truth is, Ed, and like you said, there's probably people out there that gripe and bitch, Fireman Ed. But the truth is, you're our leader, man. The first time I went to the Hall of Fame, which was in 1999, we drove out to Cleveland to welcome the Browns back. I went to the first Browns game. Wow. That was also the day Vinny Testaverde's Achilles guy. But I went into the Hall of Fame, and guess whose fucking face was there? Fireman Ed was there. I was like, yeah, all right, man. It was amazing.
Yeah, I was inducted into the Hall of Fame in 1998. They started the Visa Hall of Fame. Visa Hall of Fans. Visa started a Hall of Fans in the Hall of Fame. And we had our own room, and they picked all of the fans that they felt was the number one fan for that team. And I was honored, and I was selected as the number one fan for the Jets. Yeah. And it was awesome. Me and my brother went. They flew us. We actually played the Denver championship game. They wanted me to fly out. These guys were delusional. We're playing Sunday against Denver, against LA, right, for the championship. Right. That was a great team. I love that team.
Great.
And we're playing in 98, and they go, could you come out on Monday? We'll fly you out to Cleveland, to Canton, right? I says, listen to me. I said, if we win, no, they want to fly me out that night after the game. I says, are you kidding me? I says, that's not happening. I said, if we lose, I'm going to be miserable. I said, and if we win, I'm partying with my boys.
Right.
Going to the Super Bowl. Get out of here. So that's how that all happened. But it was an honor. It was tremendous.
Yeah. It's amazing.
Art Donovan did the MC, and it was a real event. It was great. It was phenomenal.
Yeah, and when I showed up there, as in my at the time my Keyshawn jersey, I went there in my Keyshawn jersey, and I was like, there was a picture of Fireman. I was like, oh, this is the best. I don't know. I felt like it was meant to be for me. I'm like, yeah, this is our year. You know what I mean? It was all kind of coming together and everything. But then later, the next day, Vinny's Achilles, the rest.
Unbelievable. Unbelievable. We were the favorite. We were the favorite to go to the Super Bowl.
We were the favorite. We
I
signed
mean,
Steve
it's
Atwater in the
unbelievable.
offseason. It was
It's unbelievable. You cannot make this up.
I'm telling you, man. I think it's like the way that it happens, Ed. It's more painful than just a bad team. Like the Lions, they just suck. You know what I mean? Like we have weird, like twisting blades in our guts. That's what we have. Butt fumbles and things like that.
I would agree with you. I mean, four championship games and all different ways of losing. I mean, crazy. I really thought. Listen, I thought that one. I thought we were going to win. Well, Shula started it in '82 when he kept the top off the field. Right. You know, he was the head of the rules committee. I don't know if you know that, the NFL rules committee. He was the head of the NFL rules committee. There was no rules saying that you had to keep the field in playing shape. It was known that you should do it as that's what should happen. But he decided to keep the top off the field. It rained like 7 days, and it was a mud bowl. That's why they called it the mud bowl.
That's right.
That was the first one. The '98 championship, we had a 10-0 lead. Excuse me. We had a 10-0 lead in Denver, right? Then we're in Indianapolis. We got a lead there with Peyton Manning. And then the third one, we were the best running team, prevent the run, defensive rushing team. And we gave up 168 yards in the first half to the Steelers.
Amazing.
I mean, come on.
No, we won our Super Bowl that year in New England. You know, we came out flat. Like that was, that was. I thought we were the best team in the league that year. I thought we're going to crush Pittsburgh and crush whoever's in the Super Bowl, and we came out flat. So everybody, I want to remind you, we are here with Fireman Ed, New York Jets legend, and just all around awesome dude. If you haven't had a chance to meet him, and you do, you're going to agree with me. I've met him a few times over the years, and he's always been nothing but gracious, and I'm really happy to have him on with us. If you guys want to ask questions for Ed, as Jake Asman would say, the super chats are going to cut the line. I see a couple in there. We're going to get to them as a portion. So we'll get to like halfway with Frankie and I. We want to talk a little bit Elijah Moore. We want to ask some questions about this team, and then we'll get to your super chats and questions for Fireman Ed. So again, if you want to ask a question, by all means, stick it in the chat. Jeremy's going to be perusing the chat for good questions, but the super chats, as standard, will cut the line. So Ed, Frankie wants to know some stuff. I think he wants to talk about today's event. So Frankie, why don't you bend Ed's ear for a minute here?
Well, I guess, the question people probably want to know, Ed, is how you feel about what Elijah's doing. To me, it seems completely out of character and out of left field. But, and I guess I would think many people want to know, what does Fireman Ed think about what happened today with Elijah Moore?
Well, you can go on Fireman Ed 42 on my Instagram. I pretty much posted something within minutes because I was so fired up watching the timeline on Twitter. First, they were killing Samini, for, stirring it up because he kind of reported it but not in the exact form that it wound up being. But he was referring like he thought that Elijah Moore didn't practice and it was on purpose.
Right.
But everybody was jumping at him because the Jets said that it was a personal issue, family issue. So he didn't come. It come to find out that Ian Rappaport reports it, and then the shit hits the fan. That's it. Now it's because if Schefter or Rappaport reported, they ain't reporting anything that they don't know for sure. That's just the way it is. So when he started, they went crazy, and I just think he's a selfish. You know what I said? I said Elijah no more. Elijah no more. I said, Elijah, no more. I said, you're a selfish guy. You're pathetic. You know what? You didn't get your touches. We didn't even throw the ball much in the games that he's referring to. And you didn't get your touches, so now you're mad. In the meantime, we're on a 3-game winning streak. Everything is going wonderfully. You got a cohesive units that are just starting to come together in the 6th week, which usually takes 4 to 6 weeks because there's no preseason to begin with. and you're going to decide. Yeah, I mean, that is about as selfish as it gets. So I said, you should go with Jamal Adams to Seattle. I said, because, and then I realized they don't need receivers. They got their receivers. So you're not going there, but you can't stay here. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Right. Well, and I'm happy to hear you say that. I mean, the truth is, man, is that it's upsetting. And just like you said, if it was only our beat, I might be saying, guys, hold on. We don't know how real it is. But it's Rappaport. And Rappaport doesn't put stuff out that's not real. And 99% of the time. So more than likely it's real. And then we're getting confirmations from all over the place. And the truth is, man, is that when guys that would rather be a star on a losing team over a role, having being a cog on a winner, when those guys are in there, it poisons the well. It poisons the well. And we don't need stuff like that. This is the first time that we have a win streak in since 2019. Adam Gase had a little win streak there, but any legitimate win streak, it's been a long time. And it'd be real nice if the guys on the team actually gave a shit and just went with it and played their role, whatever you got to do for the team, man. And it doesn't seem to be the case. Let me ask you, Ed, what do you think if we did trade Elijah Moore, what do you think we'd get for him?
Well, I would never trade him for at least the compensation that you actually drafted him on, which is a 2nd-round pick.
Right.
So I would go nothing less than a second. I mean, nothing less than a second. You let him sit. Just let him sit. Make him inactive. Put Mims out there.
Yeah.
Put Mims out there. Now, Mims wanted a trade, but here's the difference. Mims wanted a trade because he just wants to play.
Right.
Okay? And he did it before the season started. And he wants an opportunity to play. So there's a big difference between the two guys. You know what I'm saying? There's a big difference. I don't want to hear the comparison with Mims because there is no comparison. But I would get a second. I said a first or a second. Somebody's going to bite because he's got a lot of talent. Now, I don't think you'll get a 1 because he's whining on a winning team.
Right.
So that's going to hurt its value. Douglas don't have to do anything. He can just make him inactive.
Yeah, and that's what he should do. Say, okay, you want to cry like a little wimp, then sit over there, put Mims in, and see what he does. Like you said, I could not agree more. And I want to hear Frankie's thoughts on this. We talk about Mims a lot, for one reason or another. But like the idea that these guys are the same, like Elijah Moore and Mims, it doesn't sit with me either. It's like Mims. Clearly the coaching staff doesn't want to use him. He went through all of last year and then this. So it's a different story. He's been inactive all year. Elijah Moore, like you said, is playing on a winning team and he wants to be traded because he's not the star player or something. I think it's completely different. Now, Frankie, real quick, as far as Mims, do you think, like Ed and I think, it sounds like Ed and I agree here, maybe sit Elijah Moore, make him inactive and put Mims in and see what happens here? Would you bite on that? Do you think that's the way to go?
You know what I'm going to say, GreenBean. It's Mimzy season.
That's right.
Let it be Mimzy season. Let's get him in there. I mean, sit Elijah down, see how he likes it. Look, Mims hasn't said a word since the season started. Yeah, the agent wanted a trade. He wasn't getting utilized at all. He wasn't going to get in there. He gets in there in the preseason game, has 100 yards and is making miracle catches in the end zone. And but yeah, let Elijah sit down and watch the game from that perspective for a week and see how you like it, Elijah. Yeah. Let Mimzy get in there. Why not?
I agree. I mean, listen, you got this is about as bad as it gets, really. When you think about it, it's as bad as, it is the most selfish in so many different ways because there's no way you could be doing this. Right. It's the worst. The guys in the locker room are never going to say anything. But believe me, those guys, look at AVT. AVT. You got a guy that is jumping around the line. Next thing you know, will be the center.
Right.
This guy is selfless. He's selfless. And then you got this guy. Oh, my God. Listen, I don't even want to talk about it. I'm done with him. That's bull. That's bull.
Right. Yeah, and like Stud City's saying here, he's sorry for all those that purchased a Moore jersey. I tell you what, man, I'm with Ed. Ed wears his Harper jersey. Look, I've seen Ed dip into the new player. I watched Ed. I was at the game when you took off the Harper jersey and had the Nagel on underneath. Remember that? I was there.
Sure.
Yeah, and that shit comes to bite you, man. You got to wait a few minutes before you buy your jerseys. These days.
True. It's true.
I wear Gastineau. I got fucking Klecko. These guys are Jets. I don't have to worry too much. But it's hard with when you buy a jersey, for these guys. So guys, again, we are here with Jets legend and fan number one, in my opinion, Fireman Ed himself, and we're going to get into a few of your questions. I know Frankie we were talking before, and he was asking your opinions on, I think, this year's team. But Frankie, why don't you throw a question at him, and then we'll move into the chat.
Yeah, I guess I was wondering, Ed, with your, extensive knowledge of Jet history, probably second only to GreenBean as a historian. I mean, the historical knowledge you have on the Jets is amazing. I wonder what your thoughts are on this current rebuild. We're on rebuild number, version 50.7 or something. We've been rebuilding for 50 years now. But I'm curious, this sort of iteration, the Saleh, rebuild, what your thoughts are at this point, in time about where we are and where we're going.
Well, it's got to be exciting. I mean, if you're looking, Douglas, what he's done, his drafts, okay, his first draft is so-so. His last two drafts have been beast mode. Never mind the undrafted free agents he signed, guys he's picked off of waivers, okay? You got Herbig, you got Braxton Barrios. I go down the line, Quincy Williams. These guys were all grabbed by Joe Douglas. I mean, you got some major talent. Never mind the draft choices, because the draft choices are proven to be just what they are, especially the last two drafts. You got the nucleus of a future powerhouse. If this kid, Zach, proves to be what he is, which I think he'll be, the sky's the limit. We may see that elusive world championship. That's my listen, a lot's got to happen. You got to stay healthy, but you have to be excited about this young, vibrant nucleus on both sides of the ball. Both sides of the ball. Never mind special teams. Special teams. What about Michael Clemens blocking that punt? That monster blocking that punt. Do you know the versatility to be able to be that size and come to that line diving like he did? I mean, that is incredible.
It really is. Michael Clemens.
The punter. I was killing the punter the first week. I was destroying him. I destroyed it to him on the field. I was yelling at him. I never get derogatory. I just, I let him know that I'm not happy with
right.
it. And no, I don't, because other people will feed off that. I don't want to do that. But the kid, the second week, goes into Cleveland. He single-handedly, listen, he was the MVP in that win that we won. So it's exciting. Very exciting.
It's a great point, man. I mean, you look at the offense and the defense, and look, Zach, he didn't have a preseason, man. I'm concerned. I tell everybody, I'm not just gonna, wipe it away and say, don't worry about it. But the truth is, he didn't have a preseason. He didn't have the first couple of games of the season. He's got new receivers. The offensive line is jumbled around. We're just now looking like we might be settling down, and he's not throwing any picks, Ed. So, if you're going to do anything right, not turning the ball over is a damn good place to start, right? Pretty good place.
Listen, and he's making the short throws now. They're worried about him doing with throws. He's 16 games into his career. He's literally, this week will be his complete a season. This week, after this week's game, he'll have 17 games under his belt. Let's ease up. He's going to be just fine. They surrounded him with all the talent in the world, And now it's time for him to grow. He will. He'll mature. And now they don't have to rush him. They don't have to, it ain't got to be all on him. He's got, listen, I love the kid. I love the kid. So I think he's going to be the goods, and we'll see what happens, but time will tell.
Yeah. And Frankie, man, Ed's right. If Zach ends up being even just an above average quarterback with the team that Joe Douglas has built, I think we're going to be a powerhouse. I mean, as long as he doesn't, become the top turnover guy in the league and stuff like that, I think if this guy works out, we really have a ton of talent, and we're just getting started, in my opinion. We're just getting started. So, guys, we are here with Fireman Ed. We are going to move into your questions. If you have a question for Fireman Ed, please don't hesitate to ask. Again, our producer, Jeremy from Jets Chaos, is in the back. He's going to be scanning for questions, as is standard. Super chats will cut the line. Now, our first one, Ed, this is somebody wants to give you $20. J.E. Allen said, this is for Ed. So I'm going to go ahead and give Ed this 20 spot right here. And thank you, J.E. Allen, for helping Ed out. Little 20 bag right there. So thank you, J.E. I appreciate that. J.E.'s a good dude. He's here with us pretty much every week, I'd say. So let's move into Fat Gandalf has a question for you, or a comment anyway. He says, Ed isn't lying. He spent 15 minutes with me and my family the night before the Panthers game last season. Oh, that was down in Carolina, huh? His picture with us is in a spot near the TV we watch football on. What do you think of that, Ed? So he's got, I guess you guys took a picture, and he has it prominently displayed right in his living room. Not bad.
And what's his name?
Fat Gandalf. I don't know his real name. Fat Gandalf. What's your real name? You want to tell us? I think it's probably Frankie.
Anyway, I wanted to say thank you, because you know what? That's an honor. You have my picture by where you guys watch the game. It's not the first time I've heard it. I'm honored every time I hear it. How overwhelmed can you be in your life when you see people that love you so much they actually have you in their den there? I've heard people in their living rooms. It's incredible, and it's an honor. I could just give you a quick story, like Fat who?
Gandalf, like the wizard from Lord of the Rings.
Listen, you know what? These people, the Jet fans, they're the best. They travel from all over the country, okay? And they come in, they wear their heart on their sleeve. It's an honor when they want to take a picture with you, and then to top it all off, they have it in their household. I've taken pictures. I'll just give you a quick story. I take pictures since, 86, right? All right. In 88, I get the helmet. I have guys that are grown men, okay? Grown men that are 40 years old that show me a picture when they were 6, 7 years old, and they were with their dad and their grandfather, and their own children. And they want to take pictures, but they have the picture. They show me a picture when they were 7. And they said, we had this on our mantle for all these years. We want to take another picture with my son now. And that,
wow.
Now, how much of a that possibly be? I actually get tears sometimes looking at it. I go, man. But it also makes you think how old you're getting.
Yeah, that's the other side of it, right?
That's it. That's it. But it's an honor.
But how cool is that, man? Like, to be part of like generations of people's fandom, man. Like, to actually be a part of it. And you are, Ed. That's the truth of it, man. It's like, look, we all look to you, and the Jet Chant is a big part of our life. It's a big part of our association, our camaraderie, and you're the leader. We look to you.
You know what's funny, GreenBean? I know Christian Dyer, so he's a reporter for Sports Illustrated and a few different venues, and he got in touch with me last year, and he says, and this blew my mind. He goes, 2 years ago, he says, Ed, he goes, you've been doing the Jet Chant for 5 decades. And I said, what? He goes, yeah, 86 you started. We're in the 2020s. He goes, 80s, 90s, 2000, 2010, 2020. He goes, I went back in time. He goes, there's nobody NFL fan that's ever gone that 5 decades and made an impact on a stadium like that. And I said,
Holy
oh
shit.
man, what an honor. What an honor. I said, what an honor. I said, but you know what the greatest thing is? Getting to talk to guys like you, guys that are true fans. That's what pumps me up. From older guys to younger guys to the kids, those, you know, who get me really fired up, those 18, 19, 20, 21-year-old, you know, because I remember that's how I was. And they're so fun. They love the Jets. And I tell them, you know what? You guys keep me young. You keep me young. That's just the truth.
Yeah. That's the best. I know, man. They're all full of piss and vinegar like I was, you know. It's so funny. You know, they're like, where's the fucking year, man? Yeah, it's the best. I love it too. So we got a question from Thomas Cahill, Ed. He says, hey, Ed, Flushing guy from the Namath era here. How did you handle all the pain all these years other than alcohol, etc.? So, you know, how do you get through it, Ed? Is, you know, you just kind of muscle through it, you white knuckle it. What do you do to get through all the bad years?
You know what happens? Your love, like our love, right, for the Jets, like you opened the show with, and your passion and you gotta believe in something, right, in life. If you don't believe in anything, what's it worth? What's it worth? You gotta believe in something. You gotta have faith in something. And when it's in your blood and it's just instilled in you from my brother from a young age, you always have hope. Faith and hope are what drives Jet fans, because we know there's going to come a day when we're all going to be in unison and we're going to raise that Lombardi trophy. But first, what I want to do and what really drives me and continuously drives me, and I truly mean this, I want the day when we all could be in our house raising the Lamar Hunt trophy, knowing that we're going to the Super Bowl.
That's right.
And
in our house.
And I believe nobody could beat us. They come into our house because our fan base is so insane and so thirsty and hungry. They're hiding in the goddamn weeds, waiting for something to cheer about. They talk about the Giants having 2 million fans at the Canyon of Heroes, and they said to me, "Why did I watch those parades with the Giants?" I said, "Do you know why I watched it? I watched it because I long for the day when we are in that Canyon of Heroes walking down there." They said 2 million people were at each one of the Giants' Canyon of Heroes parades. I says, "Do you know when the Jets go there? There's going to be 5 million. I said,
yeah, Frankie.
We're waiting forever for this. We're waiting forever. This is
man.
Passion I do. This is what I do. This is why, and it'll never stop until I'm dead. When I'm dead, the autopsy will be revealed, and when it comes out, it's going to be a miracle, a medical miracle. My blood's coming out green and white.
I fucking love it. Thank you. That was awesome, man. That was awesome. And I agree, man. We are thirsty. And when we do win that Super Bowl, I hope we win it, you know, the AFC Championship game in our house, man. In our house, nothing would be better, in my opinion. And then winning the Super Bowl in that, I think there'll be 5 million fans there too. They're going to come out of the woodwork. You'll see. Come out of the sewers. The Jets
out of
fans.
the week.
That's it, man. That's awesome. So Sky C has a question for you. Hey, guys, love Fireman Ed. No way JD or Salah keep more on the team. Salah's biggest inspiration are the Navy SEALs. SEALs don't complain ever, nor do they quit on the team. So, you know, to comment on that, Ed, do you think that you agree with Sky C here? There's no way that JD and Salah are going to tolerate this, or do you think they'll find a happy medium and we'll move forward? What do you see happening from the whole Elijah Moore thing?
I can't see him staying on a team now. Here's some of the mantras. Salah always has on his shirt, all positive vibes. All positive vibes. What is that? What did we just deal with? Are you kidding me? Are you kidding me? Like, there's no way that, listen, we're going to see, but I I just don't see it. He's either going to stay inactive or they're going to trade him. They're going to trade him. I don't see it. I don't see it because it's the way it happened. It's the way it happened.
Right.
It's if it happened and we were losing 3 games and he wasn't getting the ball and the offense wasn't moving, okay, people would have more of a problem because they go after LaFleur and say, hey, this guy is a stud and he should be getting the ball. And what is the story? And people would question, but who's questioning LaFleur at this point? Well, LaFleur is running it down Green Bay's throat. Come on.
Right. Hey, Ed, move your thing back to where it was. When you moved it, it got crazy. Yeah, it just got crazy. Yeah, totally. All right, good. What were you saying?
You better?
Oh, yeah, much better.
Okay.
Yep, you're good.
Yeah, so, Salah, I just don't see it. I don't see the kid staying. I don't see it. I don't see it happening.
Yeah, I think he actually has value too. It's like, look, I mean, this is why you have guys like a Mims on the roster. I mean, sucks that he's inactive, but you do have a little bit more flexibility right now. You could put him in there, lose Elijah Moore, get something legitimate for him for the draft, or get an offensive lineman or whatever you feel like you need, because Elijah Moore has value. Because look, obviously he's super talented, but he's super cheap. And a lot of teams would love to get a weapon like him and pay him chump change, second round pick value for the next 3 years or 2 years at least. So I think he had if JD wants to get rid of him, he's gonna do it, man, and not have too much trouble doing so.
I agree. I think he's got. They could trade for players too, not just choices.
That's right.
Or a little bit of both. You got to see what's out there. I haven't really looked to see what's there, but there's teams that would go for Elijah Moore for sure.
Hell yeah. I could not agree more. So Bismo Charismo, way down from Australia, Ed, has a little comment for you, or a question. He says, great show, guys. What game did Fireman Ed enjoy the most this year so far? And what are his thoughts on the Patriots game in 2 weeks? Great question. Ed, what do you think about that? What's your favorite moment so far? And what do you think about us playing the Pats?
Well, obviously, the favorite moment is the Dolphin game. I mean, that's obvious. The fourth quarter of the Dolphin game couldn't be better to watch the teal and orange walk out the stadium one by one. I loved it. I couldn't get enough of that. And scoring 3 touchdowns in the fourth quarter was just a beautiful thing. When all I heard was that, they had a third-string quarterback, where I'm hearing the Dolphins say, we like Skylar Thompson better than Teddy Bridgewater. Okay, so much for that. Anyway, we put a 40 burger on you. I don't want to hear it. Your defense was supposed to be that good. We put a 40 burger on you. I'm not going to listen to that. So that was my favorite moment. As far as the Patriots, now I'm not going to jump ahead because we're playing the Broncos, but I will give you a little tidbit. Come Monday morning, Tuesday morning, I'll get maybe a 24-hour. We'll go 24 hours. That clam face, chowder head up in New England, Belichick, hurt our quarterback last year. All right. Lawrence Guy hit him on the sideline low. I was such a lunatic after the game. 16 hours later, I'm called, whatever it was, yes, about 16 hours later, I'm calling Boomer because I love Boomer. Boomer's my guy. And I know Boomer tells it like it is. Boomer Esiason is who I'm referring to.
Right,
Boomer will tell it like it is. He don't bullshit. He tells you like it is. I said, Boomer. I said, when Lawrence Guy hit Zach Wilson on the sideline, I says, and he hit him low, was that a dirty hit? Was that intentional? He said, absolutely. I lost it. They cut me off because I went, that motherfucker. and they cut me off. So I'm just telling you that I hope Salah, because I haven't met him yet, and one of the first things I was going to say to him in the offseason was, I hope you remember what Belichick did to our quarterback, because I believe it was intentional, because the shoot-on jumped on his back the next one after that.
That's right.
That kid got hurt. His knee this year was never right. It was the same knee. It was the same knee because they never operated on it. Okay, they tried to rehab it, and it was still loose. That son of a bitch I'm telling you, he hates us. He hates our guts. He hates the Jets, and I hate him. And
Right.
Listen, that stadium's going to be insane come New England. You mark my words. That stadium's going to be electric.
Right. And we got some payback, just like you said. And then in the opening day last year, they had the Zach Wilson 4 interception game and Bill Belichick running the score up on us and everything else. Like you said, I firmly believe he hates the Jets. And I hate predicting ahead too. I really do. I'm with you. But everything you said, I think is safe. And I'm hoping that we kick their ass, man. It's time, man. It's time to get a little payback. And specifically, this team owes them, this version, this staff, this quarterback. We owe them a little bit of payback. And I'm ready for it. I'm ready for it.
No doubt.
It's going to be a fun one.
Can't wait.
It's going to be awesome. Thomas Cahill checking back in. He says, when Namath guaranteed the Super Bowl win and then went out and won it, I had a spiritual experience that hasn't faded. That's pretty awesome, Thomas. Now, Ed, you were so I forget just to align everything. You weren't a Jets fan yet when Namath won the Super Bowl, right?
No, you know what happened? My father was a baseball fan, so I wasn't football at all. I was a Mets fan. My father was a big baseball fan, and I played baseball at that time. So I was only 9 years old at that time, and
right.
I didn't even have any allegiance to football. So as I started liking football about 11, 12, I liked the Dolphins and I liked the Cowboys, because back then it was the Dolphins, Cowboys, Raiders, Steelers. Those were the teams that were always on TV. Because remember, it was only 2, 4, 5, 7, 9, and 11. And they would put whatever team, always the best teams on. So I liked the Dolphins and the Cowboys. And then my brother Frankie, my older brother, I told you before, got season tickets, and I was 15 years old. And he said, come to a Jet game with me. He was 22. So I was playing football in College Point. I gave my father my equipment. I ran down to College Point Boulevard and ran over the Flushing Bay Bridge. My brother's over in the Grand Central Parkway underneath. They used to tailgate under there by the Circle, where the old Shea Stadium, if you remember it. So he's tailgating with his boys, and I come rolling up. I'm 15. He goes, I'm glad G hugs me. And he goes, yeah. Want a shot? I said, yeah. Shot of Irish Mist. I take the shot. He goes, you like that? I said, yeah. He goes, you want another one? I said, yeah. He goes, don't tell Mom. I said, no, I won't. Don't tell her. So we went to the game, and after the game, he goes, did you have fun? I said, I loved it. He goes, you're going to be a Jet fan? I said, I am now. And that was it. And then I became a Jet fan. And my brother, I was my older brother. He goes, you're going to love it. You're going to love it. He took me to every game. And then I just started, as you get older, you just, and then I just loved them. And then I wound up going to the championship game in 81 and 82 that season. Oh, it was insane. I loved it. And I haven't stopped loving them. Loving them.
It's an amazing story. I mean, the Mud Bowl was actually my first ever Jets game that I watched. My aunt brought me to a ground round in Bloomfield, New Jersey, and I watched it, and I got so mad because she's a diehard Jets fan that I became a Jets fan. It's like I was so pissed that, with the Richard Todd, AJ Dewey shit and all that. So it's amazing. So Ed, there's a lot of people in the chat offering condolences, and I want to do the same thing for the passing of your brother. We don't have to make, you don't have to talk about it or anything, but I do just want to extend from many people in the chat and from Frankie and myself. We want to just, we're sorry for the passing of your brother, man.
Well, I appreciate it. Listen, I don't mind talking about it. I love talking about Frankie. All I could tell you is, and I posted this, there would be no Fireman Ed without Frankie. So That's just really the reality of it. My brother was my older brother. He's the one that put me on his shoulders when I told you that story. And, when I flew over the rail, and that was Frankie. And, he was a steam fitter for 41 years. He was the toughest man I ever knew in my life. I've never met a stronger man than Frankie ever. And that's just the truth. And they're naturally strong. And, I miss him dearly. I loved him. We were best friends. We talked all the time. and my heart will never be the same. It just won't. A part of my heart just went when he went on September 8th. So I don't mean to get emotional, but it's just the way it is. So
yeah.
But that's it. So
Yeah. Well, thank you, Ed. And
thank you for the condolences from everybody. I appreciate it. I absolutely appreciate it. And I would have liked to seen a Super Bowl with my brother. I thought that was going to happen I never thought he would die. And now that he's up in heaven, I got a feeling he's going to guide us to one.
Yeah. Well, right. Now we'll win one for him. He's got that. Now he has an impact up there. He's going to pull some strings for us.
Yeah, that'd be nice with the football guys.
So there's a question from Paris, 1189 Paris. This is an interesting one, Ed. What do you think about this white jersey, black pants thing that Robert Saleh seems to be stuck on? I mean, he's known to be a little bit superstitious. Do you think that's what it is? There were also rumors that he doesn't like the green. What do you think about what we're doing, keeping the black pants, white jersey thing going?
Hey, if that's what they want to do, that's fine by me. But I'm not superstitious when it comes to that, because every time I've been superstitious, it never worked out in my favor. I mean, I had the championship games a few times where I just had people have to wear the same clothes and sit the same place and, the whole act, take the same bus, go to the same bar, the whole bit. And,
right.
It didn't pan. So whatever, if that's how they feel, then, they're in that locker room. I'm good with it. But I don't think that makes a difference. I think it's their play on the field that's what's doing it.
I don't know, Ed. I might disagree. I think it's where I sit. I think it's the seat I sit in, man.
There you go, baby. Whatever works. Whatever works.
Right, whatever works. So Pooch Guy checks in. Now, look, we have Ed for a few more minutes, everybody. If you got questions, fire away. We'll try to get to them. Pooch Guy checking in. How can Moore look brown in the face after all this? The man is playing when he owes us nothing. I'm not sure. Who's Brown?
I think he's talking about Dwayne Brown.
Oh, Dwayne Brown. Now, why Dwayne Brown?
Because Dwayne Brown got injured and he could have very easily said, I'll have surgery end of the year, end of the season. You guys, I would get still my entire salary, so it doesn't cost me anything. But no, I'm going to rehab it because I ain't going out like that, Dwayne Brown said. And I want to be here with the fellas. So how can Elijah Moore look Dwayne Brown in the face when that's a sacrifice that Dwayne Brown has made for a team that he just showed up to 5 seconds ago?
Right. Yeah, what do you think about that? Look, I think it was Vinny Curry. I'm not sure I saw it quickly, but somebody came out today in their press conference and said, if you're going to be on a winning team, you got to play your role. And that role, sometimes you got to eat a little crow, humble pie, whatever. You got to just stay in your role for the team. So they're speaking on it, not directly, not throwing them under the bus, but I think Jets are speaking on it, man. I'm sure that they're a little bit bothered. Do you think that they're pissed off, Ed?
Listen, there is no question about it. I mean, look at a guy like CJ Usama. CJ Usama thought his role was going to be bigger. He thought he was going to get more catches. You see him bitching? He's playing 80% of the snaps blocking.
Yeah.
He's blocking. Okay? There's plenty of unselfish players, one by one on that team. Look at Braxton Berrios. He lost a ton of snaps. A ton of snaps. But when he gets in there, he makes things happen. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Listen, we've all played ball. I played ball, not on the highest level like they did, but the one thing I would never deal with was a selfish me guy. We hated in the schoolyard, we hated me guys. Yeah. Me guys used to tell them, take the ball and go home. Take the ball and go home. Because it's not about you. It's about us. All right?
That's right.
Like the standard line that you always hear. There's no I in team, bro. There's no I in team. It's just the truth.
It's the truth. Ed, I'll share something right now. My son is a freshman in high school right now, and we're in Virginia, and he's playing high school ball, but he didn't know it. So we're new to this area, and I told him, I said, look, These kids grew up with each other. The coaches know their dads. You're going to have that year where they get to know you. You're going to have to play special teams. You're going to be on punt, and you're going to have to eat that shit sandwich. And you know what my son does on the sideline? He plays 4 or 5 plays a game. He cheers everybody on. He's the first guy high five. And that's right. And that's it. And I taught him that. And listen, this is your time to show the coaches you're a team player. Your time will come. Your time will come.
You know what your son is?
What's that?
A chip off the old block, brother. Off the old block.
That's exactly right. And I thank you for saying that. So we
got
got one more.
You're blessed.
Yeah. Oh, indeed, man. Don't I know it? So this will be our last question for Ed. We're going to let him get out of here. And again, we're grateful that he carved out some time to spend with us here on the Thursday Thick of It. This is from our buddy Chris Bradigan, the lone Jets fan in Chicago up there, Ed. He says he grew up in the Chicago area and started my Jets fandom at an extremely early age. What made me a Jets fan in the mid-'80s was hearing about that beautiful chant and tune. Thanks, Ed. Jet up. By the way, I'm 40. You're 40. He looks like he's 25, this guy. How the hell did he become 40? So you hear that, man. It's the Jet chant that got him to be a fan, man. What do you think of that?
Let me tell you something. I was in Green Bay, and there was a Chicago fan club that was there. There was only, I don't know, maybe 5 guys that made the trip. But they always get together. You got to look up the Chicago Jet fan club, and you maybe get together with them because they love the Jets. The amount of people, I appreciate you rooting for the green and white from Chicago. I love it. There was people from all over the country in Green Bay. They came from everywhere, all over, every state. It was incredible. The fan base is just starving, and I thank you for being a Jet fan.
Yeah, wasn't that incredible when Breece Hall did the Lambeau Leap? There was 10 Jets fans. How did Jets fans get the Lambeau Leap tickets? That's amazing to me.
I tell you, there was 15,000 Jet fans there. There was a lot of Jet fans, man, and they were all over. They were scattered everywhere. It was just amazing. I loved it.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I mean, it was great to see you guys there. I saw you doing some stuff the night before, doing some Jets chants in the bar. And so Ed posts all this stuff on his Instagram page. So Ed, what before you go, why don't you let everybody know where they can follow you, what you got going on, anything coming up?
Yeah, you can follow me on Fireman Ed 42 on Instagram. I love reaching out, talking to the fans. It's awesome. And I'm excited about the year, man. I mean, there's big things ahead for the Jet fans. We deserve it. It has been a brutal decade, and the times are a-changing, and the winds are a-turning. And when you hear that knock on the door, when they ask, who is it? It's the New York Football Jets. How about those Jets? Let's go, baby. Let's go.
I love it, man.
Let's go.
There it is. I love it. So, Ed, we want to thank you, man. Thank you for spending the hour with us. I couldn't be more grateful, and it's been a blast, man. I could talk to you all day. But again, from everybody here at the Thursday Thick of It, we thank you for your time, buddy.
GreenBean, I had a great time. I'm a fan of yours. Frankie, love it. Really enjoyed it. I'll come back on anytime. Thank you for representing us, the green and white. Thank you for being lifelong Jet fans. I wish you all the best with your son. And I look forward to having a cocktail one day when we get together. And maybe sooner than later.
There you go. Right, man. I'll let you know when I think I might be coming up for Detroit, so I'll let you know.
Let me know, brother. Love to see you.
All right, Ed. Thanks again, buddy.
All right.
Thanks,
Ed.
Ed.
All right. Good night. There he goes. Fireman Ed, the world's most famous Jets fan, the only one of us inducted into the Football Hall of Fame. Amazing. I'm so happy that he got to spend some time. What do you think of that, Frankie? That was amazing.
The Hall of Fans.
The Hall of Fans.
Who knew there's a Hall of Fans? I mean, that's pretty amazing. And it's great to see somebody with such a passion that goes all the way back to the schoolyards, talking about it playing on the schoolyards of Queens, the schoolyards of Brooklyn. But I did think it was noteworthy that his Jet fandom started with alcohol. So we do have to acknowledge that as well, that it took a few shots of alcohol and then he was in.
Right. What do you say? Irish mist. Little
Irish
Irish mist. There you go. I know. It's such cool stories. And I mean, look, you have to imagine he's got a million. You know what I mean? A million. He's been to every Jets game for what? 50 years? Like I said, 5 decades. So it's amazing. I mean, he was at every game that I went to. I mean, I was at every game for, almost a decade. And a smattering, I would go to like 3, 4, 5 every year, before and after that too, until I moved out of the state. Or actually until I became a raging crackhead and heroin addict, Frankie. I didn't go to the Jets games so much anymore. I kind of cooled it off. I needed my money for other activities, you see. But that was amazing. And you guys are amazing, man. What great questions. And I appreciate you all chiming in. Jeremy had a whole list of questions. And I tried to get to some of them. We only had Ed for an hour. So again, you guys are the best. And, I didn't like that we upset him, but I'm really glad that we got to say our condolences, because look, it all, it impacts us. That's the guy, he was on his shoulders forever. So it's an amazing thing, man. Now, look, Frankie, Jet Sonic is checking in. Now, he don't give a shit. He's throwing caution to the wind. He's saying, I think we are Super Bowl bound. Frankie, what do you think of this? Jetasonic's fucking going nuts. What do you think of this? We going to the Super Bowl, Frankie?
It'd be tough. I mean, we do have the Bill. I mean, the Bills are so good. So good. I would say the favorites to go to the Super Bowl right now are the Bills and the Eagles. I mean, those two teams look the best. But I mean, we're in the picture. I mean, that's the point. I mean, and the surprising thing is the defense has come along a lot faster than we thought it would from the beginning of the year. It's a top 12 unit. Who the hell would have thought that? And now the running game. Here comes the running game, and here comes Breece Hall, and here comes Michael Carter. And the offensive line's starting to come together. And the one thing we need to come together now is the passing game. I mean, if that gets on point, then I think Jetasonic is right. If the passing game comes around and we're just super efficient in the pass game and everything else, continues the way it is, I mean, why not? What else is there? And we have a top 3 special teams unit collectively, and the kicker is doing fine and the punter's doing fine. I mean, so really, if you think about the entire team, the one thing that really has to come around with a little more consistency is the passing game. And if that happens, why not us? Why not
us? Right. I'm telling you, Jetasonic's onto something. Now, look, Jetasonic, you've been hanging out with us for a little while. I'm too scared to say that. Now I'm not going to tell you that I don't sit in my bed at night and think stuff. Okay. I'm not going to tell you that, but I can't say it out loud. It's funny how Ed said, I don't know, man, people got to sit in the same seat. They got to go to the same bar, wear the same clothes. He goes, it never worked out. You know what I mean? And that's such a great way to say it. That never worked out. And right. I mean, shit, I've been wearing lucky this or lucky that for my whole life. And we have no rings, Frankie. So I guess maybe not. Tell you what, though, this new Sauce Gardner jersey that was given to me by Angelo, and I want to say Carmelo, forgive me. If you're in the chat, please let me know. But you do, these guys, I would recognize him if I saw him. He keeps telling me, and I keep fucking forgetting. I'm bad like that. But they gave me a Sauce Gardner jersey. I didn't wear it until the Pittsburgh game. I said, all right, I'm going to wear it first time. And I've been wearing it every week. So Frankie, the jersey's undefeated, man. You know what I mean?
You can't argue with success.
Right? It's data.
3-0. 3 wins, no losses, never been beaten. The undefeated Sauce Gardner jersey.
That's right. Right. You can't argue with facts, everybody. These are the facts. I'm not even make it up. All right. It's what it is. Julian Verney checking in. Thank you, Julian. He says, I think the Elijah Moore mess could be a blessing in disguise. If JD can get a late first for him, Jets could snag a linebacker and offensive lineman in the first round next year. That's an interesting point. I mean, look, obviously going into the year, we all thought Elijah Moore was going to be a big part of the offense, right? Now, it is my belief, and I've said this before, and I won't speak for Frankie, but I believe we landed on common ground here, at least a little bit, that I don't really love the way they're using Elijah Moore. These go routes and all that.
I agree 100% on that.
So I can understand, so on that side of things, and I'm not saying anything, I'm just speaking about that. I haven't loved how we've utilized Elijah Moore. I think that he's much more dangerous, carving up the middle of the field, and maybe some end around, some jet sweeps, things of that nature. I don't like how we've been using him. So frustration, I can understand, right? I can. And I think a lot of fantasy, Elijah Moore and Breece Hall were like the number one Jets fantasy guys as far, maybe the 10th round picks, but they were the guys that most NFL fans said, all right, if there's somebody that's going to pop, it's probably Elijah Moore and maybe this new rookie running back. And he's been a major disappointment, right? He got 21 targets up until the last 3 weeks, and he hasn't really made much happen. A little bit, a couple nice plays. But he hasn't seen much action. But I think the manner in which he's taking care, like responding on a mini Twitter thread, dude, like that to me, and like saying, I'm not going to say anything, but how I really feel because we're winning. Dude, you already said it. You know what I mean? I'm not going to say how I really feel is saying how you feel, man. I don't know if you understand this. That's what I said in there. I said, hey, you said it already. I mean, it's there. It's like he took the Samini bait. You know what I mean? He took it like Samini lays traps. That's what he does. He lays traps. He sets the bait, and Elijah Moore bit when he was emotional, and that's Samini's gig. That's what he does. We all know this. So the fact that he responded to that, the Saints just scored. Taysom Hill getting in the end zone. That's nice to see. I'd like the Cardinals to sink. Why? Why do I think that? I hate them, Frankie. I hate everybody. You know what I think it is?
Why do you hate the Cardinals? What did they ever do to us? Never played them.
I'll tell you what they did. You ready? Sons of bitches. You ready what they did?
Here comes some transaction from 25 years ago.
No. It's just the fact that this is what it is. It's the fact that the Cliff Kingsbury thing. So the Jets chose not to hire Cliff Kingsbury. He came to the Jets first, which means that he would have preferred the Jets. The Arizona Cardinals offer was on the table. He came to the Jets. We let him go. So he went to Arizona. So I want to see him fail just because of that. That's it. That's all I got. And the whole Steve Keim DUI thing and all that kind of stuff, generally. He's made good, you know what I mean? I suppose, and I support my fellow alcoholics, but I don't like DUIs. I don't like DWIs. And he had that whole thing going on, but I don't got much for the Cardinals. I'm digging deep right about now, but yeah, you know what else it is too? I think the expectations, Frankie, I want the mighty to fall. That's my gig. They got DeAndre Hopkins. They draft all these wide receivers. They trade for Hollywood Brown. They got Kyler Murray, blah, 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 and they suck. I love it. It makes me happy, Frankie.
And now they have Robbie Anderson.
They do. What's Robbie doing over there? He's all pissed off about something.
Apparently not much. I wonder if we could pilfer another Carolina Panthers wide receiver as part of all this drama.
Well, who do you want? You know what I mean? Who do you want? DJ Moore? You want to trade Elijah Moore for DJ Moore?
DJ Moore, yeah. DJ Moore is not going to be a problem, and he's probably as good a receiver. He's been disappointing. The only problem with DJ Moore, he makes $20 million a year. Yeah. That's a problem. So we have to rework his contract, but maybe they want a younger guy. Maybe they want a draft pick in addition to Elijah. We get a productive veteran dude. I don't know. I like it.
Well, you remember what a couple weeks ago, Matt Rule, DJ Moore said he was a little bit, he wished he was more a part of the plan or whatever, and wished he had more impact. And Matt Rule said, well, you'd have more impact if you can get open or something like that. Fucking Matt Rule. So,
I mean, Matt Rule's game plan was Christian McCaffrey in large friendly letters, and that's the extent of the game plan.
large friendly letters. You heard it here first, everybody. So yeah, I'm rooting. Look, in every game that has ever been on, I pick a team to win. Everybody does it. We all have our reasons. My reasons are based in hate. That's it. That's all it is. I have sports hate. That's what it is. Get them. And I will say this though. I really do root for Greg Dortch. Greg Dortch was an undrafted free agent that the Jets nabbed from Wake Forest. The One Jets Drive crew did a really touching expose on him, as they do. And I don't know, he's like, 5'8" or something like that. I really wanted him to stick. He's the kind of guy, he just outworks everybody. Like that's what he has to do, right? So he outworks everybody, and he has super crazy talent, but if people give up on him, and the Jets gave up on him, he bounced around, and he ended up over there, and he was their leading receiver the first few weeks of the season. And I don't know, I got to root for him. So it's tough to root for the Cardinals to suck and root for Greg Dortch to be a success. That's tough.
The Flying Dortchman.
Brian Dortchman. Yeah. So anyway, I'm rooting for the Saints, I guess. There it is. I'm rooting for the Saints. Thomas Cahill checking back in, Frank. He says, thank you, GreenBean. This was up there with the Westhoff show. You know what? I thought it was good too. I mean, look, we had some technical stuff that we had to get through, but I thought we did it, right? I don't think it took away from the interview. I thought it was awesome. Did you feel like it was a good time, Frank?
Yeah, I thought the interview was awesome. I wonder what folks thought about the audio quality. It wasn't great, but that was the only negative. I mean, the interview itself was fantastic. I think Fireman Ed is great.
Yeah, I mean, he's the best, dude. And look, I tell you guys, I met him a few times, and I walked down the first time. I only brought up the first time when I walked down there, and dude, he was so cool, man. Like I thought he was gonna be like, hey, I don't know. But I wanted to say, hey, man, that's awesome. You know what I mean? Like I just love it because the unification of the Jets chant changed it. And you know what he did that really changed it, Frankie? Like the way that it was my whole childhood, like he talked about, it was the end zones. These guys would shake their cowbells and the whistles and the noisemakers, and everybody would get up. And then this side would do the Jets chant, and that like triggered the other side. And then they would do it. And it was just the two sides, right? That would do it. And then when they so Fireman Ed had like this whole section of the lower level, then they put him on screen. And this is what he did that changed everything. I got chills the first time I saw it. He got everybody up and then quieted us. He did this. And it was like silent for 2 seconds. Hey, I was like, whoa. Oh, it's so good. If you guys haven't been in the stadium. Now, look, truth is MetLife hasn't really felt the same to me as Giants Stadium. I don't go to every game, so I don't pretend to know everything, but every game I've been at MetLife, the Jets chant doesn't feel quite as potent as it used to be. Maybe it's the three guys they put on the screen. I don't know. But I think Ed, he changed it, man. And it's, I don't know. I think it's the best thing ever. I love our Jets chant. And I think the Eagles and Giants stole it. E-A-G-L-E-S, Eagle. Get out of here with that. What is this? G-I-A-N-T-S, Giants. Beat it. I don't get it. How can they do that, Frankie? It's hard.
We didn't patent it. That's the problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. We know what would really hurt? Because I'll be honest, I don't know. Maybe it was theirs and we stole it. That would suck, wouldn't it?
Who knows?
Oh, man. So let's see here. We got New York or Jets, New York 102. Either you're with us or you're against us. On to 5-2. You know what they say about that, Frank? Only a Sith speaks in absolutes. That's Obi-Wan Kenobi said that. What do you think of this? You're either with us or you're against us, Frankie. On to 5-2.
Yeah, I mean, you can't tolerate this sort of thing. I mean, it's ridiculous. The man, I mean, we're coming off a game where Zach Wilson completed 10 passes. 10.
Right.
And no receiver had more than two receptions. The 2 was the leading receiver on our team.
Yeah.
Okay, a bunch of people had 2. And then a bunch of people had 1. That's it. And he just happened to have 0. Okay, that's what you're upset about? A game where we had 10 passes completed and we won on the road against the Packers 27-10? Get out of here.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree. Now, look, there's a couple different ways to look at this, and some people in the chat are talking about this. Is the Highlander Prime says, I agree with you, GreenBean. I think LaFleur has misused Elijah. Given most of the slot plays to Wilson and Berrios, Wilson should be playing Yetis more. And I do agree. And this is, look, this, right,
But
Frankie?
you don't do this.
Right.
You go into LaFleur's office and you say, Coach, put me in the slot. Coach, put me in the backfield. You could use Elijah out of the backfield. They did that at Ole Miss for a couple of plays. Give the other team something to see on tape. Oh, they're using Elijah in the wide back position? What?
Yeah.
You go to the coach and you say, Coach, I don't think we're using me correctly. Let's put me more in the slot. Let's put me in the backfield. Throw me a pop pass. Throw me a jet sweep. Throw me do something. But you don't do this.
Right. You don't send me streaking down the sideline. Like, never worked.
I agree that's suboptimal, but you don't handle it the way Elijah handled it. That's the problem.
So, yeah. But I'm with you, Highlander Prime or Highlander Prime. I said Highlander. But listen to this now. Now, John Postman, our old buddy from Pure Adrenaline Sports, checking in. Good to see you, John. He says, JD needs to set an example and trade this kid. Now, Frankie, I have to admit, my first thought is that. But don't forget that the request is to be traded. So do we set an example that, hey, if you want to get out of here, all you have to do is bitch and moan a little bit, and we'll go ahead and grant your wish? I mean, look at what Jamal Adams did. And then now follow this up a couple years later, Elijah Moore. Do you think which example do you think would be set if we traded Elijah Moore in a week?
I think it depends on the return. You don't just trade him to trade him. It depends. Look at what we got for Jamal Adams. I mean,
yeah.
Does anybody think that was a bad trade now? No. So it depends what you're going to get. If you're going to bring back DJ Moore somehow, and we'd have to rework his contract. It's ridiculous contract. But like if you got DJ Moore back and your wide receiver room was none the worse, then you'd go, oh wow, they got a more established guy, who's still relatively young and has more bona fides to his name, and the Panthers want a guy with maybe more potential, that type of thing. Then you go, okay. Or if you get a first round pick, or if you get a first and a third, or if you get some overwhelming deal, that's one thing. But we're not trading him for a pepperoni pizza. We're just not. Like, JD doesn't do that. And we've seen the way Joe Douglas operates. He's not just like, if this agent, whoever Elijah's agent is, and hope it's not the same one Kyler Murray has. And Marcus,
right. You know what? Let's take a look. I'm gonna look at this.
I tried looking it up before. A quick internet search did not bring results. But if this agent thinks he's going to get Joe Douglas to get scared and do something stupid, he hasn't been paying attention to how Joe Douglas operates. I've said many times, if you're in a staring contest with Joe Douglas, prepare to lose, because Joe Douglas does not blink.
Right. So he has two agents.
Huh?
Well, I just lost it by opening it up. All right, I'm just gonna use the blurb. Tory Dandy and Jimmy Sexton from CAA Sports. So they're reputable.
They're well known.
Yeah. They're reputable. And you don't hear too much drama with Jimmy Sexton.
No, but Dandy's the guy who was behind all of that wide receiver movement in the offseason. He represented almost all those guys. I think AJ and Debo and DK, and I think Dandy represents all of them, I think.
So that's what he's doing. So look, man, is he AJ Brown's agent? Let me see this.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't be surprised. But this is it. This is the thing, man. Like, these guys, it's like Frankie. Remember when Mike Tyson, when what's his name? Don King got his hands in Mike Tyson. Yeah, Tory Dandy is the agent for AJ Brown as well. Yeah.
So there you go. This is a Tory Dandy special, probably.
Yeah. So that's what's going on.
You're not throwing to my client. I gotta get him out of there. Let me get him to some place where they throw the ball more.
And we're gonna do just that. The Commanders are gonna give us a first-round pick, and we've decided to send you to Carson Wentz. There you go. Enjoy your stay.
Taylor Heineke.
That's
And,
right. Enjoy your stay in Washington.
Yeah. Yeah. Enjoy Carson Wentz and Taylor Weineke and Sam Howell. Good.
Weineke. I'll tell you what, though, Frankie, we talked about it. You see that Carson Wentz block? That was serious.
Ooh, that was the best thing he did all game.
Hell yeah. I mean, yeah, dude. And that was a fierce guy, too. You know, what's his name?
That wasn't some DB.
No, right. That guy's snarling. He's like, and he just gets crushed backwards. It's the stuff you love to see. But yeah, man, I don't know. So this is the thing. It's like we have to be careful, Postman. You know?
Yeah.
Like I think it would send more of a message to elevate Mims, sit Elijah Moore for 2 weeks, still win, and say, okay, kid, have you cooled off? Are you ready to be a team player? And if not, okay, we'll sit on the sideline all year and we'll see what we can get for you in the offseason. Or we'll bring you back and Mims you for 2 years.
Kyler Murray is currently screaming at Cliff Kingsbury on the field in a heated manner. Don't know what this is all about. I got the volume turned down, but he doesn't look happy. I guess he didn't do enough film study this week.
That's right. Well, they just scored a touchdown, so that's okay.
No. Well, I guess maybe Kingsbury called the play wanted.
Yeah, right. It was right. There you go. There you go.
Listen to the QB.
Right. Kyler Murray just got paid. He can act the way he wants. You know what I mean? He can do whatever he wants to do.
Maybe he went over and just said, just run the ball. Just run the damn ball. You know,
right.
And which LaFleur could learn from on 3rd and 1. Can you run the ball a little bit, LaFleur, please?
Frankie, what the fuck? Let me ask you this, Frankie. Out of everything, I think what annoys me the most on 3rd and 1, 4th and 1 is an empty backfield. What's the logic in that? You're overthinking it, LaFleur. That's what it is. Smart guy. No, you're supposed to you're going to make it right. Explain this to me so I can have a change of opinion and stop thinking it's ridiculous. Tell me the logic, Frankie. Why is this a smart move to consistently have an empty backfield on 3rd and 1? Talk to me.
This is the logic, I'll tell you. The defense thinks you're going to run the ball, so they bring in their big personnel. So you go, we're going to fool you. Spread them out. Look, now you got all these big people, all these linebackers. Although you can't cover this guy, you can't cover. So you think you're going to get matchup problems. That's the idea. And a lot of the OCs are doing it. It's not just LaFleur. They talk about it on television all the time. It's like, why don't these – Richard Sherman was talking about it after the last Thursday night game. Just run the damn ball. He was talking about Denver. Why not just run the ball? Nathaniel Hackett with Denver.
Yeah.
And I think it was. But, just run. I would like to see us – I mean, now that we have some semblance of an offensive line and we have Breece Hall, who's a bruiser, let's go. Run it down their throats. Now, if you're Zach Wilson and it's 3rd and 1 and you're flushed out to the right sideline, and we're in field goal range already, and we don't need a touchdown at that point, just throw the ball away, please, Mr. Wilson. You don't need to put the ball in danger with a crazy hero ball throw. Just throw it away.
I will say, though, I think he's beginning to grasp that. I see it happening. You know what I mean? I think I see it happening. I think I see the logic squirrels.
I mean, there's still those moments. I mean, I think he's getting better. He's coming along, but now he's got to know situational awareness. Like, you're in field goal range. You don't need a touchdown. We're winning the game. We're already in field goal range. If it's not there, just throw it away. Let the guy kick the field goal and live another day. There's a time for hero ball and there's a time for zero ball.
I like how you know what's great about that? You didn't plan that, Frankie. That's a happenstance. That's good. That was fantastic.
Total ad-lib.
I like that. That was good. Everybody, really, we should acknowledge the spontaneous genius of Frankie from Flatbush. We just witnessed it in our own lives in real time. Scuttle Buttle, our friend, checking in. He says the Jets need to fix this. No trade talk. Too much talent. I agree, man. And look, I know we're talking about it a lot, but I think, so Frankie, let me ask you this. If you had your druthers, what is the exact way that it would be handled from your perspective? I want to see if I agree with you.
Well, I mean, you have to listen to trades. I mean, Joe Douglas's job is to listen. So if somebody's going to come and be aggressive like they did with Sam Darnold, you pick up the phone and you make the trade. I mean, because they're just overwhelming you. So you have to listen. But if that's not the case and there's no overwhelming trade to be made, I don't know. I'd probably do a Mimzy switcheroo. You go be Denzel Mims and let Mimzy come in, see what he can do. And you go sit on the inactive and kick cups on the sidelines and see how you like it, Elijah.
Right.
I don't think you're going to like it very much. And then, hopefully he changes his attitude. He comes in, he says, you know what? I was an idiot. I'm sorry. He apologizes. I was emotional. He comes on social media. He comes on the press conference and says, you know what? I'm sorry. I love it here. I screwed up. I made a mistake. I got too emotional. I'm sorry. And then he comes back and lights the league on fire. That's what would be the optimal.
Right. And I think that's perfect. And I like what Frankie called it. Let's do the old Mimzy switcheroo. We get Mims in here and you say, hey, look, it can always be worse, kid. Now experience what's really possible. Now you're sitting home. Now you got your
no targets this week, Elijah. 0 targets because if you're inactive, even if we throw it to you on the sideline, it doesn't count, Elijah.
That's right. So, so there you go. I agree, Scott O'Bottle. Either way, we got to fix it. Now, Egerton Bullock sent a super chat right now. Here it is right here. So everybody has proof. But he didn't put a question. But it just so happens that a few spots before that, he said this. So I'm going to use this, Egerton, and thank you for the super chat. And this will be your super chat. Just because our defense is lights out, we need to admit that our offense is mediocre. Ooh, I actually have to disagree, Egerton. I think that our offense is not necessarily well oiled yet. You know what I mean? I think there's a lot, don't forget. I mean, this is like the 5th incarnation in 7 games of our offensive line.
Right.
We have our second quarterback in this year. We've lost 4 tackles. You know what I mean?
Right.
So we have numerous rookies playing. So there's a lot going on here, and we've been putting up 30 points, 40 points.
Right.
So yes, the defense is helping. I mean, look, Quinnan is blocking field goals, and the Michael Clemens pump block. Of course, that helps. Quinnan Williams fumble recovery 2 weeks ago. The old stiff arm to Tariq Hill. The old take that. So I mean, of course, but I think I wouldn't call the offense mediocre. I would call the offense raw. That's what I do. Do you agree, Frankie? Do you think I'm off base?
No, yeah, if you look, I think this is true that it's been mediocre if you look at the whole totality of it, and it hasn't been great. But what I would say is the offensive line's coming together. We found something in the last game with 12 personnel. Listen, Uzama and Conklin are blocking their butts off. Uzama blocked a guy into the stands last week. I don't know if you guys noticed. I mean, I love Uzama's effort on the blocking. It's fantastic. And I think we found something with 12 personnel, which is another reason maybe Elijah can sit down because we're running a lot of 12 personnel, Elijah, and we already have Garrett and Corey. So, enjoy the view from the inactive list. But so we're sort of finding our way. Yeah, it hasn't clicked 100% yet. The running game we're seeing come along. Don't forget the running back, who's our primary running back, is a rookie. The running back, who's our second running back, is a second-year player. So they're young kids too. They're going to only get better. So it's coming along, and the running game seems to be ahead of the passing game. And now the passing game, if it catches up, well, then things change. And yeah, it's 2 games we've had this offensive line together, and we have our guard playing tackle, by the way.
Yeah, right.
With 32-inch arms, which is not ideal, and he's still doing a good job. So
right. Yeah, so there's a lot there. But I think, you made a good point, though. I think that supports Egerton, that if you do look at it as a whole, I think up to this point, the offense has been mediocre.
Yeah.
But I think that, again, there's numerous reasons. Like, we should be ecstatic that they're figuring out a way to turn on the gas and press on the throats in the 4th quarter. Like, this young team, dude, that is not a trait of a young team. That is a vet team. Whatever happens in the game, they settle down. They know it's crunch time. We got to go out there and win. All jokes aside, put down the experiments and the rust. We go out there, we man up, and we win. And our young team is figuring out how to do that while they're mediocre, while they're rusty, while the offensive line has had numerous incarnations already. And again, Frankie, great point. You know, many of those incarnations had AVT playing, you know, 3 different positions already this year, and he's out of position now. So I think there's so much potential, Egerton. I really do believe that. Well, real quick, Snowball likes pepperoni. I want you to just want to say that. I think that had to do with you're not trading them for a pepperoni pizza. I think that's what he was referring to.
We can get a pepperoni pizza through other means, my friend.
Right. Like call and get it. They'll deliver it. It's crazy.
They'll deliver it right to your house.
You know, I ever tell you, Frankie, my wife is from Baltimore, and you don't realize how specific certain regions are. And when we went to rehab years ago, that's where I met my girlfriend. She was my girlfriend back then. We were all hanging out, and a lot of my friends were from New Jersey or New York, right? And we're all down there in Miami, and somebody, hey, let's order a few pies. And my girlfriend at the time goes, pies? Who the hell's going to deliver pies? 11:30 at night. Who's delivering pies? And why do everybody's all say, yeah, let's get some pies? And we say, oh, they'll deliver it. There's always some place to. And what do you want on your what do you want on the pie? And she goes, I don't know, cherry. Like she was like, she had no idea what the hell we were talking about. Like tomato pie, hey. It's just a funny thing. Scott Lukinger says, Fireman Friday, heard it here first, go Jets. Fireman Friday. What's that, Frankie? What's he talking about? Is Fireman Ed doing something on Friday? Let me see.
Maybe it's a special Instagram post on Fridays only from Fireman Ed.
Let's see. Well, you know what we'll do? I want to see if I can find Fireman Ed was all fired up. And he said he made his, as soon as he heard it, he put it out there. So he captured the raw emotion. So let's see if we can get it here, Frankie. Let me see if this is it. Let me see. Now, can you hear this, Frankie?
Positive vibes all week. Great win in Green Bay. The fans are out of their minds. We're 4-2. Unbelievable. Going into Denver. Got a bunch of different things going on with Quinnen Williams winning the AFC Defensive Player of the Week and Brees taking care of the Rookie of the Week. Unbelievable. And here goes Elijah no more. Elijah no more. Listen, that's selfish. 3-game winning streak. We haven't even been throwing the ball. And you're worried about getting your touches, getting your catches. Listen, Joe Douglas, do what you have to do, Joe. Listen, I know you'll get what you need to get for that guy, but that guy can't be on a team. I mean, talk about selfish. He's got to go hang out with Jamal Adams. That's who he's got to go hang out with. Go trade him to Seattle. Well, no, they don't need a receiver, but somebody will need one. Get a 1 or a 2, but he's got to go. That's unbelievable. Anyway, positive vibes. The team is doing great. You got a great chemistry. The Jets are rolling. He can't stop us. Elijah, no more. Elijah, no more. Good riddance. Bye-bye.
There it is.
Positive vibe.
There it is. Elijah, no more. Now, look, I'm going to be real honest with you guys. My ultimate hope is that they just sit down and they say, oh, all right, and it's over. That's what I hope. And this is just a Jim Dandy special. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's
Tory Dandy.
Right. Yeah. What did I say? Jim Dandy? Yeah. It just flew right out of my face, Frankie. Here's Egerton again. He says, what conversations did Elijah have with LaFleur? Well, I don't know. I mean, there was.
Do you expect us to know the inside?
Yeah,
GreenBean doesn't have a bug in LaFleur's office, you know.
I think you give us too much credit.
Yeah, right.
I am the hunted one. Anybody know what that is? Kid, you give me too much credit. I am the hunted one. Anybody know?
No.
You know, Frankie, right?
No.
Come on, in the chat. Jeremy will find it. You kid, you give me too much credit. I am the hunted one. Come on, let's go. Everybody, there it is. Jeremy's already got it. He's in the private chat. See if anybody gets it, Jeremy.
I will say this about something was reported. Now, we don't know if this is true. It's reported by our beat. They've been known to lie and be a bunch of scumbags. But but the way it was reported today was that Elijah and LaFleur did have a conversation. They did talk about it, and the Jets sent him home. The Jets sent him home. He didn't have a family matter, as was first reported. And the Jets said, listen, so it must have gotten heated. I mean, it must have been something where they said, get out of here. Go home, take a day, cool off. So we don't know what they said, but that's what was reported as to have happened. We don't know if that's true. That's what the beat reporters are reporting, that the Jets sent him home after these conversations with LaFleur and I guess Saleh and whoever else. And they said, get out of here, Elijah, go calm down. So Elijah must have been very upset, I guess, but we don't know.
Sheesh. What is that, Egerton? So Frankie does know. Frankie had all the scoop.
Well, we know what the beat told us. I mean, that's what I can't vouch for the beat, but I can tell you what they're saying. Yeah. But,
that was good.
Who knows if they're lying this time?
That was enthralling, Frankie. I tell you, that was really good. D. Santana got it. D. Santana knows. So that was from The Godfather. That was the scene. What was his name, Frankie? What was his name, Jeremy? Come on. The guy, the drug dealer guy that had the Godfather shot. What the hell's his name? How come I can't think of his name? I know this like the back of my hand. Jeremy, put it in there. What's his name? All right.
Watch that movie again.
Oh, it's so good, dude. Jeremy watches it every Christmas, he said. What he said.
Christmas.
What's his name, Jeremy? All right, let me see if he's got it. No. Okay. Drillo. Yeah. What's his name, everybody? Let me see real quick. Anybody got it? What the fuck? Solazzo! There, Duncan. Thank you, Duncan.
Oh.
Green Beans Burner says Marlon Brando. Solazzo, right. He says, kid, you give me too much credit. I missed my opportunity. I am the hunted one. It's so good. All right. Wild Billy Boy. What's up, Billy? Good to see you, buddy. He says, I can't believe I missed Fireman Ed. My first Jets game was September 9th, 2001. I was at that game versus the Colts. I remember asking my dad on 9/11 if he was going to be okay. It's awesome to have him back in front of the fan base. I could not agree more. Look, I understood why he left, because he wore the Sanchez jersey, right? And when the fan base turned on Sanchez, they turned on Ed too, because he was like, hey, you don't support him. It was bad. So he just said, you know what? I'm out. And now I don't want to speak for him. That was my interpretation. He said, look, I'm still going to go to the games. I'm going to sit somewhere else, and I'm just going to quietly. But it's never been the same. Jetman, like with all due respect to Jetman and his 68,000 pounds of beads, and the other guy, I mean, I don't know what that is. You know what I mean? I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to judge anybody. What am I? I got a fucking long white beard. Who it is? So, but it's never been the same. And I think the stadium or the Jets are trying to so they brought Ed back, thankfully. And now they got the three guys, or sometimes two, on the screen. So it's Ed and Jetman and the other guy. And they all try to do the same thing at the same time, but it sporadic. Everybody, when you go to the game, just watch Ed. That's it. Just look at Fireman Ed.
He's the maestro.
He's the guy. Right. But Billy Boy, yeah, I was at that game, man. As a matter of fact, Matthias Simon, who's in the chat all the time, I was with him. As a matter of fact, we were at that game together. There's a guy that comes in here. His name is Night Stalker. He's in the chat relatively often. He brought his son up here for the first time. He lived in Florida, and he was up here. He brought his son up here for the first time. They went to the World Trade Center the day before. He took his son there. He was showing him New York and everything because his son's a Floridian. You think he was like 13 at the time, and they went there the day before. Crazy, right? That was nuts, man. That was just a crazy time. It really was. But yeah, amazing. And I'm sorry, look, the good news is, Billy Boy, you can just watch it. You can rewatch it. It's all on tape, as they say. So Salazzo, there he is. Claude Monkey got it. Everybody's getting it. J.E. Allen got it. Matt Martino got it. Green Beans Burner got it. Duncan's got it. Everybody's getting it. They're all good. Egerton's back. Thank you, Egerton. He says, Elijah represents smoke in the locker room. Where there is smoke, there must be. Well, this is what I will say. Paul Boy Green Esden, I saw this in the chat, is reporting or claiming, one or the other, that supposedly there's another Jet that is asking for a trade. And we're going to learn who that is tomorrow. No, I do not know how accurate that is. I don't even know if that's real. Somebody said it in the chat, and I'm just fucking parroting it. So, but that's the thing. And look, at bare minimum, this is 2 players in about 8 weeks' time that have asked for a trade. So, I mean, as you know, as well as everything's going for us, there's got to be something. There's cracks in the dam, and you hate to see it. You know what I mean? Like, finally, we get this kind of identity, this team unity. And look at guys like Quinnen Williams. Quinnen Williams endured everything, man. You know what I mean? He came here with McCagnon. Wasn't he here with Bowles? No. He was here. That was Gase's first year. So he endured 2 years of Gase and the losing season with Saleh last year. He never said a peep, man. Not a peep. You know what I mean? That's a team guy. Just, I'm going to get better, keep coming, keep playing, trust the general manager, trust the coach's schemes, and get out. The only thing we saw from him is when he almost folded his defensive line coach like a lawn chair on the sideline. Other than that, but that's
who could this other person really be?
I know you're trying. I did it too. I was like, well, who's not
Ashton
getting
Davis?
Ashton Davis, right? Come on.
I mean, who could it possibly? There's no one on the. I mean, unless it's C.J. Uzomah or Tyler Conklin, you think it's one of them? I doubt it. Michael Carter,
right? C.J. Uzomah seems to be all about it. All about it. You know what I mean?
And he's blocking like a maniac.
Could it possibly be Michael Carter? I'd be brokenhearted if it was Michael Carter.
Me too. Now, Michael Carter and Elijah Moore are best friends.
Yeah.
Best friends. Like, they're the buds. So that kind of makes sense. Michael Carter's role has been reduced. Elijah Moore's role has been reduced unwittingly. And maybe it's the two of them. I don't know. Maybe.
That would break my heart, dude. I'm going to tell you guys right now. Like, the Elijah Moore thing is enough. I mean, poor Jeremy, he wears his jersey. He goes, "That's my boy." Every time he does anything, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. And so that hurts me enough.
Yeah.
But if it's Elijah Moore and Michael Carter, I would be devastated and then pissed right after it. It'd take me about 3 minutes. I go.
On the other hand, Mimzy season and Bam Night season.
Yeah, I mean, right? I mean, what are you going to do here? Like, what is this? What is this?
Yeah, I mean,
You know what I mean?
I don't know what these guys are looking for. I mean, you know, you're coming into a team that's starting to find its way. This is not the time to gripe and
Right.
You know, this is the time to keep working. Things are going to come your way. Like, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah, I think that's a great point.
And everybody in the world, from Morgan Moses to all the current guys, and they all say that the culture in the building is fantastic. I mean,
right.
There's nothing to be upset about. What we have great coaching. You know, whether you think Saleh is a great strategist or not, you know, he's a great guy. You love playing for him. He psychs you up. He gets you going. The coaches work as hard as you could work. The owners sign the checks. We have the rehab people. We have the facilities. What is there not to like here?
Nikki, the nutritionist.
The nutritionist. I mean, we got the massage people. We got the doctors. We got the trainers. I mean, what exactly is there not to like? Especially as we start to win. You could say, I don't like the losing. Okay. Well, now we're winning. What is there not to like here? I don't get it. I don't like the color green. All right. Well, we'll wear white and black then. What, you know?
I know. I know. I don't get it either, man. And like, that's the thing. Like, as a team is kind of getting their legs on it. Like, maybe you have to, you know, weather this for a minute. Yeah. Zach's still getting his legs. Like, what the fuck is the matter with you?
Yeah.
What is the matter with you?
It's 6 games in, and if you look at any kind of box scores on a consistent basis, this is how it goes. You can't have 3 people with 100 yards. It doesn't happen. There's one guy who has a big game, and everybody else kind of chips in. That's just the way it is. And
That's
at some
right.
point, it would be Elijah Moore, and at another point, it'll be Michael Carter, and at another, that's just the way it goes. And it's been 6
That's
games.
right.
What are we doing here?
There's always a linebacker that's got to take the block. He's got to take it for the team.
Right.
If there's an offensive lineman getting to the second level, 2 guys are running, somebody's got to take it. You got to do it for the next guy to tackle him.
There was multiple plays against Green Bay when we did some crazy stuff with the D line. I don't know if you guys have studied the film yet, but we did some 3-by-1 stuff on the D line, 3-by-1, and our end would crash in, and then we would do a stunt around that, and the end lost. Sometimes it was Lawson, sometimes it was I forget who it was, but they would basically take on 2 blockers, knock them out, and then Rankins or JFM would come around and get the sack.
That's right. They crashed the line. Yep.
Yeah, there's no stat for that. And it's
right.
very, it's a pretty painful thing to do. Let me go crash these 300-pound monsters and get them out of the way so someone else can get a sack.
That's right. You got to do it. You got to do it. You can't have 11 me guys. You can't. It doesn't work. So anyway, Drillo, the Jets fan, thank you for the super chat, man. We appreciate it. He says he's so mad at Moore. We finally had a week where media was talking about the Jets in a good light. Then this selfish diva decided to turn the attention on him with his actions and not his play. New York works both ways. It's going to hurt. And I'm with you, man. Like, look, we're real supportive. We'll ride through it with you, man. We will. We'll endure the fire with you, or we will make it painful. Once we decide you're out, you're out. You know what I mean? And we can be just as venomous as we are supportive. And I'm pissed too, man. And I think that's the perfect way to say it. Like, I'm not one, like, I'm going to be real honest with you. I'm not the one that gets psyched up about power rankings or like Stephen A. Smith, who just for years ripped us. Now he's got us in his top 5. He's saying, I love Breece Hall. Like, the fact that he can switch like that, it just shows it's so transparent. He doesn't care. His job is just to upset you. That's it. Now he's upsetting the people that are like Pat's fans. That's all he's doing. That's all he's doing. So like, I never get caught up in that stuff. But the point that Drillo is making, that the national media guys are picking the Jets to win. They're all talking about our defense. They're talking about Quinnen Williams. He won the Nickelodeon Slime Award this week, which is exciting. Mike White won it last year. It's like, we're getting rookies of the week. There's all this great stuff is happening. And then we got to have this. And it does it sours it. It's the drop of red dye in the glass of beautifully filtered water, Frankie. It's just like poof, and it just poisons the whole thing. One drop can make the whole glass red, and that's what it does. And it's sad to see, Drillo. I'm with you, man. I really am. Pisses me off. And then if this bullshit that somebody else is going to ask tomorrow happens, and it's Michael Carter, again, we're making it up. But if it happens, I'm gonna be heartbroken. Michael Carter might be my favorite Jet. As far as, number one, he's so crazy, uber talented. It's undeniable. But I love him. Like, I love him. I love everything that he says and does. I love him, man. And I'd be really hurt. I would. And it's like, all right, if you guys want out, then get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean? Like, that's how I feel. You want to break my heart? Here's your clothes. Throw it on the damn lawn.
We'll get Bam Knight in here in 2.5 seconds and see how you like it.
That's right. Bam Knight. Bam Knight will come in and say, yeah, I'm ready, coach. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm ready.
You need a kickoff. You need a punt. You need a punt protector. Bam Knight will do whatever you ask of him.
Yeah, that's the truth. Before I get to you, Ablab, I just want to make a point, that at least Salazzo didn't order the veal. That was the cop that ordered the veal Paris. So Salazzo was just drinking. I don't think he ate yet. He was a little nervous and everything. He's drinking the wine, but it was the Irish cop that ordered the veal. He was like, he was a gavone. They did that very purposefully anyway. I'm not sure that Salazzo did get his veal dinner. I don't know. So Ablab, our buddy, checking in. Thank you, Ablab. He says, wide receivers have the propensity to be divas. Isn't that the truth? What is it about wide receivers, Frankie? Why are they the ones?
I have a strange theory about this.
I'm in. I can't wait. I'm in.
In football, you have a situation where almost all the players are grouped together. They're in the middle of the field and they're all together in a group. And then you have these other players who are all the hell way out there. You go out there and you go out there, and they're separated from the group. And human beings, of course, are pack animals. So maybe by the nature of them being all the way out there all the time, they get a little nervous about their place in the group. And they're worried about their, spot in the pecking order. We are pack animals after all.
Indeed.
And so maybe that kind of explains why the wide receivers are the ones to be the divas.
I think that is wonderful. That's as good as anything I've heard anywhere else.
No data.
That's it. Now, Daniel Faust. Now, I know you talked about this, but it doesn't look like Daniel was here. But I know, on the heels of that wonderful theory, quickly, Frankie, how you handling this? You're Joe Douglas. What do you do tomorrow morning?
Again, as a GM, you're taking calls. You're seeing what's out there. But if somebody blows you away with an incredible trade offer, you think about it seriously. But barring a trade, we do the Mimzy Switcheroo. We make Elijah be inactive. Here comes Mimzy. Mimzy gets a shot to put something on tape. Let's see how he does. And if he does, Denzel, let me give you some advice. If this happens, you got to take advantage of it. You can't not take advantage.
That's right. Mimzy gets in there. You can't be dropping passes and getting penalties, brother.
Right.
You can't do that.
They throw you one pass, you better catch it. If it's anywhere near you, Denzel.
Right. You better catch it and then turn around and get us some 7 to 12 yards of yak and show him. Or Jets Forever is going to kill himself. Jets Forever will kill himself.
So whatever chance Denzel, and if he only gets a chance to block, you better block your butt off, Denzel. That type of thing.
Right.
But Denzel gets a shot. Elijah can see what it's like to be inactive and see if he likes it. And then after that, you hope Elijah comes to his senses and he starts apologizing and says, I made a mistake. I'm sorry. Please forgive me. And then he comes back in his normal Elijah and lights the league on fire. That would be the optimal, result of this.
That would be wonderful.
Joe Douglas is going to listen to the trade offer. I mean, just like any GM, whoever's interested in Elijah is going to be calling now and saying,
that's right. They're going to say
it. And you see what they offer. I mean, and if it's overwhelming, I mean, does anybody know value better than Joe Douglas?
Right.
I mean, the guy knows value. So when they call and if they offer a first and DJ Moore or something, and DJ Moore's agent's like, yeah, we'll rework the contract, no problem. Then you think about it, right? But otherwise, no. Do the Mimzy Switcheroo plan. That's what I think.
Right. And that's what Ablab's talking about here. Thank you again, Ablab. He says, dudes are asking for trades. Get as much as you can for them, JD and Cut Bait. I mean, look, what if we heard some rumors this last week that Bryce Hall's actively on the trading block. And look, if they like Eccles more and they're not going to use him, I think it makes sense. I mean, look, a young NFL caliber cornerback on a cheap contract for another year is about as valuable of an asset as you can possess. And you do a solid for the kid. It's just like, hey, the numbers game, we like Eccles more for what we're doing. That's fine. They're both draft picks. This particular staff doesn't seem to really have any allegiance to draft picks that aren't theirs. I mean, the since Salah got here, I mean, whether it's Mims or whoever, but they do like Ashton Davis. They do use Braden Manning. Quinnen Williams is Quinnen Williams and Nathan Shepard are McCagnon picks. So I don't think it's necessarily that. But look, Bryce Hall is good, man. He's good. Even that touchdown he gave up against the Ravens. I mean, rewatch it. The coverage is spectacular. He even had his hand on the ball. So, I mean, the coverage is there. Bryce Hall's a very good cornerback. But again, if you're not going to use him, if you like someone better, that's fine. Go ahead and get something for him. I support it. And you guys know I'm a Bryce Hall fan. And I like the depth. Look, injuries happen. I'd hate to, in one game, it could just be like, holy shit, DJ Reed and Brandon Eccles went down. Now, what do you got? You want to go sign kids off the street, or do you want to put Bryce Hall in? You know what I mean? So that's kind of where I am. So again, I'm not looking to trade guys, hey, I'll give you a sixth. Well, I don't know. Get out of here. It's worth more on my inactive list than a 6th round pick. But I could see it being Bryce Hall too, Ablab. Honestly. And I made a video this week talking about that. I mean, I don't think Bryce Hall's got, Bryce Hall doesn't have that in him. I mean, he's a good team guy. At least, I'm not going to pretend to know the guy, but I mean, I watched him here at UVA. He's like a team guy, man. He believes everything is like when he got the ankle injury in college. He said, "No, this is all part of it. This is important. Whatever God's doing, like this is important. I'm gonna roll with this and see what God's got for me. There's a reason for this. Like that's how he is. You know what I mean? So if he's inactive, he's thinking, all right, well, this is important for my life, my growth. And then he doesn't have Jim Dandy as his damn.
But the other thing to think about too is the mode we're in, right? We used to be in teardown mode.
Yeah,
that was the mode when Saleh first got here. We had to tear it down. We had to restructure. We had to get as many picks as we could get. We had to fix the salary cap. We're not in that mode anymore. We're kind of in build-up mode. So just going and getting picks just to get picks isn't necessarily what we want to do. If it makes sense, sure. But just to get picks, we're not in teardown mode now. We're in build-up mode, and in build-up mode, you need a lot of depth. You might need Bryce Hall to win one game to get in the playoffs. Is it worth it to have him then, or do you want a 6th-round pick? Bryce Hall might need to come in for one game to play and help us beat the Dolphins, say, in the last game of the year. And if you have him, you win, and if you don't, you lose. And you could be going. That could mean the playoffs. So,
yep. I'm with that. And that's how I see it. And I feel the same way about Mims. And if you guys are paying attention on the level that some of us are, Samini keeps asking questions about Denzel too. He asked one just this week. Oh, yeah.
That freaking, I hate Dick Chimney. Can that guy get off our beat? I mean, this guy is such a drama queen. He has to stir up drama. And
they love it.
This is before the whole Elijah stuff. They had nothing. We're winning. It's all good news. He's got no drama. So, of course, he brings up the Denzel Mims thing again because he's got nothing else to do. He's
got no drama, so he makes some. Remember, like Samini said, guys, I would love to report on positive things.
Yeah.
No, he wouldn't. He has no interest in it. And ESPN loves what he's doing. They love him.
Oh, yeah.
Trust me when I tell you, because everybody responds to the shit.
Yeah.
But so when he asked Saleh about Denzel, how is Denzel handling? He goes, look, Denzel's got a job. He's got to show up to work and do his job, just like all of us. Just because he's not getting there on Sunday doesn't mean he doesn't have a job. We're paying him millions of that. He's getting $1 million, whatever it is.
Yeah,
he's getting paid more than doctors. He's going to show up and he's going to train with us. That's the way it is, man. Hennessy says Elijah's about to see the other side of Jets fans. Frank, what do you think of that? You think we're gonna turn on him?
Yeah,
entirely.
I mean, I'm seeing it already. I mean, I think the Fireman Ed video that you showed earlier probably captures the essence of what people are feeling generally in Jetland. I think that what I'm seeing is, that's what it's all about right now.
I think so too, Hennessy. I really do. Now let's see here. We got a little scuttle action. I saw it. My thing just completely scrolled. There it is. Scuttle. Thank you, buddy. He says Saleh needs to use his inner Svengali and pass the Dutchie on the left-hand side to MC. Now look, Scuttle, we just guessed that maybe it was Michael Carter. We do not know. We don't even know if it's real.
Yeah.
We're just talking. But these guys are young and need to be talked to. That's what I think. I think if Saleh is the leader that we are starting to see what that he can be, he needs to handle this. And if Elijah Moore, go on.
That's a good point. This is a test, right?
Yes. Yeah.
This is a test of Saleh and the coaching staff and Joe Douglas, their leadership. How are you going to handle adversity? Last you said you can't wait to see how the team handles adversity, and boy, did we have a lot of it. Well, now here we are. This is a different kind of adversity. We're starting to get wins. You're starting to get some respect on the street. Boom, this happens. So let's see how good of a leader you really are.
That's right. Anybody can cheer on the sideline when your linebacker makes the stuff. Anybody can do that, But and look, you got to give it to Saleh. He's rallied, man. and the team is playing hard. Like the way that, look, when we won the toss and deferred, give it to Aaron Rodgers to start the game. That's dangerous in Lambeau. And the way that our defense came out play one, to me, they looked faster, more aggressive, meaner from the first play. I said it, holy shit, Jeremy. Like we do the game stream. Oh my God. Like it feels different. And they maintained that the whole game. So whatever they're doing, you got to give it to them. That's why this stuff is so much more aggravating, Scuttlebottle. And I agree they need to be talked to. But like Frankie said, if they did talk to Elijah Moore and they had to send him home, things are bad. Yeah. He's turned. And if he has, I say, hey, Elijah, I would send him a letter, a certified letter, and it says, you're inactive. You're inactive. Certified.
Send him a fax.
I'd think I'd send him a certified letter that he has to sign for with the postman. The postman's got to deliver it. He can't hand it off until he signs.
Wait,
that's what I do.
That discussion reminded me of something that I wanted to ask you, GreenBean. You remember the play that Sauce Gardner had a touchdown, and then they said, "Oh, that's not a touchdown." Yeah, remember that?
Of course, I remember that very well. I freaked out.
Do you think that if it was the other way around, let's say it was a Green Bay player, the same play happened, but Green Bay's on defense, and they show the replay, don't you think they would have said, actually, the majority of the player's hand was under the ball, and even though it touched the grass, the majority of the hand was under the ball, it's an interception, touchdown, Green Bay. Don't you think that's the case?
Well, I'll tell you what, Frankie. I don't know, but what I will say is that your opinion, your side of that is supported because the refs found a way to give Aaron Rodgers a bonus drive out of nowhere. I've never seen anything like it. I've been watching football since I'm 10 years old. This is my 40th year watching football as a diehard reject. I pay attention too much, and I've never seen a situation where something that happened on the sideline with the special teams coach stopped everything and brought the offense back on the field. I've never seen it.
Me neither.
I've never seen it. And
neither had the broadcasters.
The broadcasters had no idea. And the refs just said something unnecessary or whatever the hell they say. Unsportsmanlike. What is it? Nobody knew. Nobody knew. Nobody knows now, Frankie.
And our beat reporters don't look into it. Can somebody look into it? Can somebody be a journalist for once in your lives instead of a shit stirrer like Dick Chimney, the fucking drama queen? This guy so pisses me off, man.
Right. Can you please?
How about you ask something important, you idiot?
Like, call the NFL league office and say, hey, you mind elaborating on why it was that you gave the Green Bay Packers a bonus drive?
Right.
That you made the Jets have to stop them twice. Like, I don't want to hear it, man, when they talk about we didn't win, we only beat third string quarter. Dude, we've been battling adversity and bad bullshit forever. And this year in particular, when we were clearly the better team on Sunday, the referees tried to give them the game. How about the one where he's out of bounds and he gets crushed and the referee's hand is on the flag? What is he? He's looking for approval. Can I throw it?
Out of bounds. 5 feet out of bounds.
Am I allowed to throw this?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure if that's a roughing. What the hell are you doing?
His hand was on the flag, and he was literally looking for approval to throw the flag. He knew the narrative. Is this where I'm not supposed to do it?
It's so ridiculous.
It's so egregious. I have to throw this one, right? I have to throw. This is crazy. I can't throw it. No, you're not allowed. And that's why
we won anyway by 17 points on the road.
That's right. In their house. And Breece Hall did the Lambeau leap, and Jets fans were waiting for him. I can't even believe that's real, dude. And not one guy. There was like 10. They owned it. How did they get there?
I don't know, but then after the game, the Jet fans, the crazy maniacs that they are, they put a cheese head on Sauce Gardner's head.
That's right. That's right.
We're a bunch of maniacs.
It's the best. We're the best. Make no mistake. You are the best. We're tortured and we're still here.
Yeah.
And Elijah Morey's been here for what, 22 games? Beat it. You're already crying? Yo, we've been here for 40 years. We've had 10 minutes of fun. Crying, bastard. David Gerard, our buddy, checking in. When did Elijah get the right to demand a trade? We said he was great last year because we loved him as Jets fans. As a rookie, as far as rookie wide receivers, he was average. Look, he did win the Pepsi Rookie of the Week, so there's that. And there was a 5-game stretch where he was among the elite receivers in the league. Then he got hurt again. He got hurt twice last year, if I remember correctly.
Quad, and I think he had a concussion also.
Yeah, so it was like, or maybe it was 3 times. So, like, that's the thing, man. Like, you haven't even been available for a season yet. Cut the shit. That's the thing. Like, it's the A.J. Brown, Tom Dandy thing. You know?
Yeah, it's Tory Dandy. It's the agent. And
It is.
technically speaking, any player can demand a trade at any point in time. So
Yeah, of course. They can ask, right, David? I mean, they can ask.
I
Like
demand.
Denzel Mims.
Here's Joe Douglas. No.
No, get out of here.
No. I demand it. No.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, here's the truth of your current situation. You're under contract for 3 more years, included. So this one and 2 more.
Right.
So why don't you sit down, shut your friggin' face, or I will make you inactive for the rest of that time. They'll forget you even exist. You'll have gray hairs by the time you can even go talk to another team. Jim Dandy.
I will Denzel Mims you so fast.
That's right. Don't think we can't Denzel Mims somebody not named Denzel Mims. Don't you push us. All right, guys, it is time for trivia. Wat2K is now in the house. He's still sick from last night. Him and Jeremy had a fucking weird show where they tortured each other for your dollars. So hopefully he's feeling better. Let's bring Wat2K on and say hello and do some Jets trivia. I don't think we got last week, did we, Wat2K?
No, you didn't. Guys, before we go anywhere, I do have something to say. I've been talking with my family recently, and I just don't think I'm really getting the amount of time on the show that I deserve. So if you could maybe trade me to Talking Jets from Tigo or just 24/7, I think they're going to be able to make the most out of my talents. And it's just what's best for me and my family, man.
And here's what I'll say to Wat2K. I have you under contract for 2 more years.
It's a rookie contract also.
That's right. You're only making $350 this year, so pipe down. I know it's kind of crazy.
Tell you to go block Wat2K, then you're not going to like it too much either. When you go block a 300-pound lineman.
Yeah, look, Jets Forever says trade Wat2K. That's the best.
It's Trade Request Thursday, everybody.
Trade Request Thursday. Jets Forever, I just won't hire you as my agent. Let's put it that way.
What can we get for a Wat2K, Frankie? Pepperoni pizza?
You could probably get a Jets Chaos and maybe a Talking Jets with Tigo for Wat2K, I think.
Both of them for me? Yeah, I'd say it's pretty fair value.
Maybe a Gunny.
Maybe Gunny also.
Report. Yeah.
I think both.
Hey, did you guys catch the if you guys aren't watching Situation Report with our friend Gunny, he's a good dude, man, and his wife is amazing. Truly. I spent a lot of time with them opening day weekend. Truly amazing. Super cool lady. She is a Green Bay fan. So the daughter was filming them from behind as they both stood there and watched the game on the TV, and it's hilarious, man. Like it's comedy gold, and it's must see TV. In my opinion, I was like, oh, this is the best, because Gunny is just like, that's right. Like it's like, because nobody's expecting. She fully expected Aaron Rodgers to tear us up, and that's where. And he got it, man. It's nice. So anyway, that was good. So Wat2K, what do we got today, man? I think we lost last week, didn't we?
Yeah, I think since we started season 2, I believe that you're 7 up and 4 down. So hey, still over 500. I think it puts you in the hunt if we're doing a playoff graphic. But yeah, 7-4 is nothing to be ashamed of at all.
That's right. Well, you know what though? But it does seem like a midseason collapse. We were like 6-0.
You were, yeah. 6-1, yeah. It was like a 1994 jet start, and it's like a fake spike came along.
Well, it is very much like that. Or it could be the Mangini. We were 8-3, and then we ended up 9-7, and they fired him. They fired him at 9-7, bro. So I don't know. So let's see. So guys, we know the rules. Look, Dark Soldier saying Gunny is awesome. I agree, man. I really do like him. I got to get him on one of these shows one of these days. But the rules are we agree not to use a search engine for the answer. We are going to rely on our Jets knowledge. Anyone in the chat can guess. You can make as many guesses as you like, but WA2K has a 4-minute timer. We got to get this within 4 minutes. So did I say it all right, WA2K?
Very well said, Green Bean. Very well said.
Nice.
So your question tonight, we're going to go back in history. By the way, I got a little history note for you that I don't know how many people know this. The Broncos, when they entered the league in the early 60s, wanted to wear green as their primary color. But they heard the rumor that the Titans, who were about to become the Jets, were going to switch to green. And their owner at the time had an affinity for the Cleveland Browns. He was from Ohio, so he went with the orange. So if the Jets didn't go green, the Broncos might have been gang green.
And then maybe that is fast. I did not know that. That is fascinating. Now, would we have been orange or would we have been gray?
I think we would have saved the blue, navy and the navy blue and gold probably. I don't think it was.
Thank God.
Man. Yeah.
Thank
All right.
God.
So here's your question. So we're going to go back to November 20th, 2005. It was not a good day for the Jets. They went to Mile High Stadium. They lost 27-0. The Broncos had the ball for 42 minutes and 28 seconds in that game. It was not good. But here was the stat that amazed me when I looked this up. The Jets ran for 19 yards in that game total. Name the 3 Jets who accumulated positive rushing yardage in that game.
2005. 2005?
2005. All right, I'll check the chat.
I can't even believe that's real. 19 yards, and we had the ball for 12 minutes of the entire game. That's atrocious.
17 minutes.
12. Only because I said it. 42 minutes of play. That's incredible, man. So anyway, let's see. 2005. What do we think? So what do we do? One is Curtis Martin.
Yeah. Curtis Martin is correct. 4 carries for 7 yards.
4 carries, 7 yards. What about Leon Washington? So that was Hank. Thank you, Hank, for Curtis Martin.
Leon Washington is incorrect.
How about Leon Johnson?
Leon Johnson is incorrect. He was long gone by then.
Yeah. 2005. I gotta like, all right. Oh, wait. Okay. All right. Wait. So we got 2000, 2005. Wait, so 2000, Parcells, Grow.
We got a correct answer in the chat. We got another correct answer in the chat. Jeremy's got it. Brooks Bollinger. Well done.
Brooks Bollinger.
2 carries for 4 yards.
Rex Ryan says it might be Elijah Moore. Is this accurate?
I think he was deactivated from Denzel Mims that day.
What about MPC says? What about Chad?
It was not Chad Pennington. He did not play that game. We actually had 3 quarterbacks play that game. Vinny Testaverde, Brooks Bollinger, and your boy, Cliff Kingsbury.
That's fantastic. Was it him?
It was not. I wouldn't have given it away that easily.
Cliff Kingsbury. Look at that. Holy macaroni. How about Lamont Jordan?
It is not Lamont Jordan. No,
I saw another one.
On his way to the Raiders.
Mr. Magic says Gerald Soule.
That's a great guess. Gerald Soule was in this game. But he did not run. He did not have a rushing attempt.
So Dejuice Maine, I think he's talking about Richie Anderson, which would have been my next guess.
Richie Anderson is incorrect, and we've got 1 minute and 40 seconds to go.
All right. So, right, there you go. Jeff is saying Ephraim Boozer. Jeff is also saying some Richie Anderson. Scuttlebuttle says Rich Caster. Jim Pox says Jones. Who's Jones?
It's just an easy last name. It
covers a bunch. Yeah, it does. It covers a wide scope.
Exactly. The next name he's going to throw out is Smith. Was it Smith?
Well, look at this. Randilla seconds that. Jones. I think they're talking about Thomas Jones. He didn't come.
All right,
here
repeat
yet.
the question. All right, they're asking me to repeat the question again. All right, November 20th, 2005, the Jets ran for 19 yards in that game against Denver. only 3 Jets accumulated positive rushing yards. 2 of them are Curtis Martin and Brooks Bollinger. There's one more to get.
Wayne.
It is not Wayne Corbett.
It's Lavernius Coles.
It is not Lavernius Coles. He was the team's leading receiver, though. 6 catches for 62 yards.
Santana Moss.
It is not Santana Moss. Jeremy freaking owned it tonight. Jeremy got it. Justin McCairns. The team's leading rusher for the day. 1 rush for 8 yards. Another note, this was the only game where Dante Ridgeway, the immortal Dante Ridgeway, ever caught a pass. 2 catches for 26 yards. So, hey, Jeremy, you owned it tonight. Well done, my man.
There you go. For that, let's bring Jeremy on so he can say hello. He's been keeping me going with all the comments and super chats, which I'm greatly appreciative of. How'd you know all those? I have a sneaking suspicion you were looking it up.
No, I remember that game really well.
That's crazy.
I remember that game. I was at a friend's house, and I remember there was a wide receiver like that. The McCarron's one was the hard one. I knew it was a wide receiver.
That's incredible. Like, think about it, right? You don't know why which game's going to stick, and that one stuck for you. That's crazy.
I thought it was Jason McCarron's, but my friend's name is Jason. I like who I was watching the game with. I was like, it was Mackay.
You know Mackay? It was Mackay back then.
What was the name? I just remembered it was like a mix something.
Mackay back then. Yeah. So, I mean, Justin McCarron's came over from the Tennessee Titans. I just did a little bit of a player profile on him. I think it was 83 was his number. Maybe 81. 81. Yeah, so we did him a few weeks back. We added him, but anyway, yeah, good stuff. Jets chaos. So now we're 8-4 on the season. Everybody, 8-4. We're doing good. We got some man. Who said Brooks Bollinger? That was Hank. Hank G. Hank G came right out with a smashing answer. I came out of the dark. Brooks, I would have never.
And Jeremy said it too. Yeah, Jeremy said it also. So,
then which one was
I remembered that name. From game.
Hank said Curtis. That's right.
Hank said Curtis.
There it was. So Hank got us started, and then here's the Jets chaos. Brooks Bollinger.
Bollinger was much easier to remember.
So, okay, let me ask you, and then I have a question for you too, Jeremy. Do you believe the made-up story that tomorrow there's going to be another Jets player asking for a trade?
I think it's a bunch of hogwash. It's one of those things when it rains and pours. It's one of those things that's only believe 10-20% of what you hear, and less of what and that whole thing. To me, it's a bunch of hogwash. Who even reported that somebody else is going to be asking for a trade tomorrow? Where did that even come from?
Somebody in the chat said that our buddy Paul Boy Green Esden, who was here earlier on, said it. So I don't know. Again, some people say I've made the mistake in the Talking Jets panel of believing people. Like when we first started doing it, I'm like, hey guys, I'm hearing this happen. And I learned the hard way that these guys are brutal. The chat is brutal. They'll tell me anything. Hey, guess what happened? You know what I mean? You can't bite. But,
it would be hard to believe it was Michael Carter. I mean, I know he's not getting a lot of carries, but he's getting carries. He's in the game. He's blocking. He's being utilized. It would be really hard to imagine him making a trade request. It would be very odd.
Especially he's like their goal line back. He's getting the chance. What he does, he scores touchdowns.
Yeah, dude. Like what is right? I would be upset. I would be upset, especially because that's a great point. Like, sure, Brees is kind of getting the lion's share, but dude, you're getting all the touchdowns. Fantasy people would love you.
So Brees must be asking for the trade. Brees isn't getting his touchdown opportunities.
Yeah,
it must be Brees Hall. That's it. We solved the mystery.
I do all the work and they give my touchdowns to this fucking kid. I don't like it. Can you imagine? Oh no! I didn't
know that's how Brees talked. Wow,
of course, you never heard him talk like that. That's how he talks. I nailed it. Believe me.
That's perfect. It's like Jeremy doing a New Zealand accent, just spot on.
I can't even imagine. That's so funny. Let's see. JW says Boy Green keeping secrets just like those clickbait titles on Heavy. Leave Boy Green alone. He's a good dude. Boy Green's doing his job. That's all. So Jeremy, you traditionally wear an Elijah Moore jersey. I mean, not this year so much. It's been Zach and Sauce. You got your lucky Zach.
I wore I wore my sauce today because we had a special Unity Day, like special dress up. Kids got to dress in their favorite outfits or culture. So I came in with this sauce jersey, and people were like, "That's culture." I said, "That's my favorite outfit, game day."
Yeah.
And but no, I haven't worn the Elijah for a while, and the reason is I was going to rotate my jerseys, but the reason is because when I put that Zach jersey on, we all saw what happened. So I'm not taking it off.
That's right. And
Yeah.
Fireman Ed, respect the hell out of him. I believe that our clothes have a big impact on the game. That's what I believe. I do. I believe it. So it is what it is. Hey, man, we looked like shit. We yelled at Jeremy for switching jersey. He went and got the other jersey that we won with, and then all of a sudden it blew open. So I'm with it. I'm with it, man. Happenstance, my ass. So
I'm not a fan of the white on black, but we keep winning in it. What do I care?
I love it. I don't even
Never
know
takes.
why. What is it about it that people don't like? I think white, black, it's great. There's a little green in there, a little green in the pants.
It looks like a college uniform. And like I said, it looks like we're Michigan State or something like that when I see that look. I don't know. It's just like maybe it's just not enough green. It really minimizes the green look. I don't know. But then again, the black kind of does also. I don't know. I just like the all black. I really am into that. But I don't know. The black on white, black on white, you know what? It looks generic. It's a very generic look. Like it could be anybody. But with the Jets, you can feel pretty sure that it's green.
Yeah. All right. That's a good point.
That might be it.
That's a good point. So, all right. Well, look, we're 21 minutes past the time, and I have a guest who just drove down from New Jersey, who just arrived in the middle of the stream, came in the green room and said hello, and he's out there. So I'm going to cut this show now. I have the feeling I could go for another hour or two. So let's not do that. And I'll thank everybody in the chat. I want to thank Fireman Ed for taking the time to stop by with us tonight. That was awesome, man. It was great to have him and be able to bend his ear and listen to him for a little while. Again, been watching him for years, man. He's like, he's out front. So and he takes a lot of bullets for us. So I am psyched about that. Let's go around the panel real quick and see what everybody's got going on this week. Jeremy, what do you got?
Hey, man, Sunday, we'll be I want everybody there. Everybody should be watching the game with us. So much fun. The more people, the merrier. It's a lot of fun. I love it. And then, everything else is random except Wednesday night. Everybody knows my deal. Wednesday nights we're on. We will not be torturing ourselves with hot sauce and hot dogs every Wednesday. That was just a special event. We'll go back to our normal wacky Wednesday, other weird stuff that we do.
Yeah, well, there you go. I know they tortured themselves. Hopefully you don't do that every day. Jeremy looked stoned last night.
As opposed to how he usually looks.
Watch UK. What do you got coming up, buddy?
Oh boy. Well, we just did a video. We did our confidence picks. I actually did my first Yankees video just to do something a little bit different with the ALCS going on. But tomorrow I'll be posting my game preview video, my 5 bold predictions. But hey, I'm pumping out a lot of videos every week. I love doing it. And if the chat has any more ideas on how we could torture ourselves for money, give us some suggestions. We are very open to ideas within reason, of course.
There you go. There you go. Frankie from Flatbush, who also does stuff. Frankie, what do you got going on?
Frankie from Flatbush channel. Coffee with Frankie, 11 a.m. Sunday morning before the game. Get ready for the game. Prepare. Come commiserate. See what's going on. Coffee with Frankie, 11 a.m. Sunday morning.
I love it. 3 good channels right there. And I always forget to tell you guys that you can hit the like button. I just forget. So if you have not hit that like button, now is a great time to go ahead and get that done. It looks like a little thumb, and it is greatly appreciated. It helps the channel grow, man. You'd be surprised how much of an impact it has on the channel. If you have not subscribed to the channel, we are on a march to 10,000, and I would appreciate all of the support that you can give me. To everybody who's already subscribed, thank you. Sincerely, from the bottom of my heart, I do appreciate it. And let's get us to 10,000 subs this week. Let's do it. Let's get me 1,900 subs in 1 week. Let's go. Hurry up. Tell your friends. Get your mom to pop in and just click that damn subscribe button. But guys, all things aside, I love you guys, and it's been a great night. I appreciate you all being here. And with that, get this comment off. With that, I wish everyone a great evening. We will see you next time.
Yeah, here we come, baby. Here we come. Here go the Jets, man.
I want to kiss you.
Thanks, Joe.
Yeah! play to win the game.
My message for the fans, we're all frustrated with where we are right now.
Jets, Jets, Jets.